Y'all, we heard the complaints. For weeks, y'all told us we need mic stands. It makes too much noise and move around. We look silly. Y'all make fun of the way I hold my mic with my fingers instead of the whole hands. We heard you. We finally got them. We're here making an upgrade. It's time.
Professionals.
Yeah, holding a mic with your 2 fingers is insane, Isaac. Your fingers must be strong as hell. And also, more importantly, this is the start to a new beginning. This is my process of slowly but surely getting out of the hood. Look at this. Mike stand. This shit is nice.
Yeah. When we told people the HOH deal was starting, everyone was like, oh my God, we're getting Mo out the Bronx. Not yet, but little by little, small upgrades and make a big picture.
Yeah, baby steps. Maybe in a couple months I'll be out of the hood, out of the Bronx, but as of now, I'm staying put.
That's great. Oh, man. As y'all see from the title, today we're taking a step back and observing the whole league from a top-down perspective and giving our first power rankings of the season. The first few weeks of the season, a lot of our analysis is based on preconceived notions coming into the season, what we expected from teams, because you can only learn so much from a 5-game sample size. But now we're gonna look back and purely base things based off what teams have done in the first 10 games of the season and admit where we were wrong. And man, I don't know about y'all, I was wrong about a lot of shit this year.
Yep. Yeah, I was wrong too. I'm gonna say it. I was wrong, but I don't. Here's the thing. I feel like, and once I write it down, I'm probably more wrong about more things. But I think that I was just wrong about things just loudly. That's
exactly same.
Same. I think I was just loudly wrong.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of my worst years of predictions, but that's mostly because there's a few things that we stood very hard on. The Timberwolves that we were just wrong as shit about. Scotty Barnes, we were just wrong as shit about. But a lot of the things did go. We called the Pacers being good, stuff like that. But again, we're gonna give our power rankings 1 through 30. And for me, it's based on purely this season, no preconceived notions on what we thought coming into the year, but also I'm keeping some context into it. I'm not going to put the Suns at 20th, even though they have the 20th best record, because they've been hurt. And I'm going to give them, not necessarily a pass, but I know once they have Booker for an elongated period of time, they're going to be better. Stuff like that. I'm going to apply some context. It's not going to be just the records. You know what I mean?
You're nicer than me. I say that.
Man. Yeah, man. But right before we get into this episode, we have to go ahead and remind you guys about the Christmas giveaway. Listen, it could happen by Christmas or it could happen at Valentine's Day. Really depends on when you want it to happen. Follow us on Twitter because we're all giving away a PS5 to one of you guys. That's all you got to do.
Once we hit 10K. Once we hit 10K followers on Twitter. Listen, we announced this. We're at 1K. Y'all have already got us to, I think, 4.9. We're almost at 5K. I'm sure by the time this episode comes out, we'll hit 5K because of this. Which, we're halfway there. Maybe it'll be another month or two, like Mo said. Who knows? But once we hit 10K followers, we're giving away PS5. I would love to give it to y'all for Christmas, like Mo said. So hopefully y'all hurry up. We'll see.
But don't let the support stop there. You have to go ahead and leave a like on this video. 5 stars across every single audio platform that you listen to this episode on. And on top of that, leave a like on this video.
Of course. Yeah, you got to leave a like. It's so important that he had to say it twice. It's the most important thing you can do for us.
Facts. You got to do it twice. Use a main and a burner.
Yeah, man. Let's get into these power rankings.
The cranium is crazy. Oh my god.
I mean, I really don't know what to say.
I think we're going to start from 30 and move our way down. And I think for these first 10, I should say, let's just run through them real fast because it's the worst teams in the league. I think we'll reveal all of our teams at once. And now it's on the screen.
All right, cool. All right, what stands out to you guys? Because there's one team that that one of us has that the other two don't.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's say them out loud for the audio listeners because not everybody's watching on YouTube. For me, at 30, I have the Washington Wizards. At 29, the Pistons. 28, the Trailblazers. 27, the Memphis Grizzlies. And 26, the Spurs.
Okay. Ooh. All right. At 30, I have the San Antonio Spurs. 29, I have the Pistons. 28, I have the Grizzlies. 27, I have the Wizards. And then 26, I have the Blazers.
Nice. So at 30, of course, I have the Wizards. At 29, it's a sweep. I got the Detroit Pistons. 28, the Blazers. 27, the Spurs. And at 26, I am the only one who has the Chicago Bulls there. And of course, this is applied with some context of the recent news revolving around Zach LaVine. So what do y'all think?
Yeah, they're gonna blow it. They're gonna blow it up pretty soon.
Yeah, obvious thing right here.
Yeah. Listen, I don't have much of an opinion about these bottom 5 teams, if I'm being real with you. I think Donovan has the Spurs really low. I get it. Yeah. They have the 30th ranked defense. They are ass. They have no point guard. They're horrible. I honestly don't know why I have them higher. I think it's fine. I had to put the Wizards on the bottom because I think they're an affront to basketball. I think you watch them play, and it's looking like you're watching a team that's not trying, but not in a normal, I'm trying to tank for a high pick way, in a I disrespect the league way. It's gross.
No,
it's awful.
They definitely seemed like a money laundering operation.
100%.
100%, right? But the Spurs have lost 9 straight games. And it's like nobody else. Well, actually, no. Detroit's done that. That's why they're at 29-2. But if it wasn't for Wemby and the hype around them, I think like San Antonio would easily be 30 for everybody around the league. But they've had a couple fun games, right, to start the season. They were kind of decent. That's worn off for me. Now, when I watch them, it's like, why am I watching this team? Because they're not good.
This convo is just about who has the least amount of emotion, and it easily has to be the Washington Wizards. Like, who in your right mind would be like, yo, it's a Friday night. I ain't got no people to be around, no hoes. Let me go ahead and watch the Washington Wizards. You sick man. Yeah. I said people first when I was
thought about not saying it.
Screw it. Hoes. Let me say it. People. Let me be real.
He was like, no, I'm gonna let it fly.
But yeah, man, they're a disgrace to basketball, like you said. The only good thing about their organization right now is, like, I guess Kyle Kuzma putting that shit on, and Bilal Coulibaly. He's an interesting ass rookie. But other than that, it's like, bro, gross. I just saw Denny Avdija shoot like 6 for 18 on a random Wednesday or Thursday night. The fuck am I doing in my life? Reevaluate yourself. And that's why the Wizards deserve to be at 30. But other than that, I'm off this top 5 or bottom.
Yeah, I mean, they suck too. The Spurs suck too, but do you realize the Grizzlies are 2-9 and the Pistons are 2-10? Like, they're so bad and so incompetent right now that, like, I had to put the Spurs above them. I probably should have put the Grizzlies above the Spurs just because a running theme on my list y'all see is I try not to ding teams too much because they're just missing players and because they're injured. I tried to, like, be like, maybe they're playing well despite that, but, like, let's say the Suns, for example, I think I said earlier.
Yeah.
They're given some benefit of the doubt. You could say that for the Grizzlies, they're going to be better. But listen, I don't got to give Ja benefit of the doubt because he got himself fucking suspended. So I was like, listen, they're trash right now. They've been nothing but trash. They got to be below the Spurs. And I feel the way about the other teams too. Like, the Trailblazers are missing a lot of guys. Even with those guys back, I think they would still be bad.
Yeah.
So
that's okay. That's fair. Mo, I want to know, like, obviously, like you said earlier that you put the Bulls in here because of, like, the news that's been swirling around LaVine, and, like, you think that they're going to blow him up. Is that, like, the only reason why they're in the bottom 5 for you, or is just everything else that you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it's both. It's both. I'm assuming that they're going to go ahead and blow it up. We just saw Alex Caruso trade rumors coming from Shams. 10+ teams were interested into him, and so, like, with those, some of their best players, some of the most important players being up in the loom for sale, like, they have to be one of these bottom 5 teams. And then on top of that, listen, a propaganda that I was pushing, or a conversation that I was pushing, was Patrick Williams. Man, oh man. I thought he was good. I thought he didn't have a chance. And although what I still said in my overall idea that I was trying to push onto you guys still remains the same for hella NBA players, but for that one specifically, he is not good. He got demoted to the bench. And he's still shooting like 30-something%.
You were on my ass.
You were tripping.
The argument was Patrick Williams should be on a team that gives him more touches. And I was like, no, he doesn't deserve touches. He has to be a good 3-and-D player first. That man is averaging 6.3 points per game on 27% from the 3, 32% from the field, 3.6 rebounds, 1.3 assists.
That's your man's?
Baller.
Thank God.
That's your man's, bro?
No, I'm not even a Bulls fan, man. God, let's move on to the next. Making me sad.
That's great, man. But yeah, not too much to say about these bottom 5 teams. We all have relatively the same guys on here. I guess, who does Mo? Oh, so you have the Grizzlies higher. Sure,
yeah, I have the Grizzlies
guess.
higher.
I don't know how you could put the Grizzlies above the Bulls. The Grizzlies are 2-9. But
the only reason why I did
argue
was because, going back to, I'm not going to ding them too hard because of missing players. I know the Memphis Grizzlies will literally be better once Ja Morant enters that facility. So yeah. I know they'll be better than, I'm saying, this bottom 5 range.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next 5. again, we're revealing this next 5 all at once because we're going to try to get through these as fast as possible to really dissect the top 20. My 25 through 21, I have the Jazz at 25, Hornets at 24, Bulls at 23, Clippers at 22. Surprising, but they got to be low. And at 21, I have the Raptors.
Okay. All right. I also have the Jazz at 25. Also have the Hornets at 24. I have the Pelicans at 23, the Clippers at 22, and I have the Bulls at 21.
Nice. Okay. Back-to-back clean sweep. I also have the 25 I have the Utah Jazz. Again, back-to-back clean sweep. 24, Charlotte Hornets. 23, the Brooklyn Nets. Maybe I had them way too low.
Way too low.
We can conversate about that a little later.
The Grizzlies?
22.
The
22,
Grizzlies are ahead of
I have the Toronto Raptors. And 21, the Grizzlies.
You're bugging. 21 Grizzlies.
That's
taking
They're 2-9.
so many things into consideration. So many things into consideration. And I know the Grizzlies are 2-9. Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't look that good. Marcus Smart, he just got hurt. God damn it. So it's like they're in the trenches right now. But at the same time, I know they wouldn't be this bad if Ja was there. So I'm taking that into consideration.
I mean, like,
and they're always not. So I'm like, I have to value those two things.
All right, man. Whatever.
Okay. to say that they're better than 9 teams in the league is wild right now.
Yeah, especially the Nets. The Nets got really disrespected because the Nets are the 7th seed.
Yeah, they're the 7th seed, but like for no reason. Like I don't know, for a good reason. The Nets are just like they're easily the most confusing team in the NBA because they have like a certain archetype of a bunch of players, and they're just straight up good in there. Every preconceived notion that you have about the Brooklyn Nets before the season started, scratch that shit. They're the complete opposite of what they actually are.
They're the 8th offense in the league right now.
What the fuck? Who do they have to make that valid?
I don't know, man. Dinwiddie's been cooking, especially now that Ben Simmons is out, which I guess we got to talk about. Another back injury for him. He's back out with I think a nerve injury in his lower back. I think he might be cooked physically. He might be on Brandon Roy timing. We'll see. Sad for him. But because of that, Spencer Dinwiddie was cooking last game. Cam Thomas is out right now, but he looks like a star scorer for them for the first couple weeks of the season. Mikal Bridges. Cam Johnson is back, who, stretch 4, really good player. Nick Claxton's coming back. Like, that is a recipe that doesn't sound good, but when you put all the pieces together, they got spacing, they got penetrators, they got lob finishers. They shoot hella threes and make hella threes. It works.
Let's see if they can keep this up. Although they are the top 8, the top 8. Nah, I'm just saying, like, yeah, they're number 8 in fucking offense. Like, congrats. You know what I'm saying? Some of the worst teams have reached the same feats early in the season. That doesn't move me necessarily. Do this in game when we're like 20 games, 30 games in the season, then I'm gonna give you your props. Right now, I can't do it just yet.
I mean, listen, Isaac's right. I'm gonna give the Nets their prop because this is exactly what we thought they were gonna be in the first place. Like, we all thought that the Nets would be like somewhere around the play-in. They're doing better right now, so shout out to y'all.
They're actually way better than I thought. I thought they'd be kind of crap. I thought they'd be like 12 seed or like 11 seed, like
exactly
decent-ish, but like I didn't think they'd be competitive to be like a winning record like this. So they've surprised me. I was a little wrong about them apparently.
What's their exact record? Are they like 7-4 or something like that?
6-5.
6-5.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The biggest shock for me is them being this good without Ben Simmons making the resurgence that at least Isaac and I thought that he was gonna be making.
He was actually pretty good. I thought he was looking like. I mean, so my hot take, which was obviously just for the hot take episode, I didn't really believe it 100%, was that he'd be their best player by the end of the season. But he was good, like for what you'd want from somebody who's clearly past their prime physically. I thought he was playing pretty well before the back injury came around.
6-7 points per game is not enough for me.
Listen, he's Draymond Green at this point of his career. He's not going to be a scorer like that.
Yeah.
6.5 is the best you can hope for.
Yeah,
but let's talk about more of these teams. Obviously, we all have the Jazz at 25. Fair enough. They're not trying to win. 24, we have the Hornets. That's a team I was wrong about. For now, because Miles Bridges is coming back, sadly, but he'll make them better. He should be playing for Team Rikers, but I digress. He's going to make them better. But I said they were going to be like the 9 seed, a competitive team. They can still turn it around, but man, have they been crap. Do y'all have an opinion as to why?
There's been a lot going on when it comes to their lineup. Gordon Hayward, Brandon Miller, and Terry Rozier have been in and out. They're just constant flux, you know what I'm saying? And at the start of the season, too, LaMelo Ball was putting
Yeah.
on his best impression of LiAngelo Ball. Just wasn't doing a whole lot of nothing. Bricks, stealing money
Bro,
from the
leave
Charlotte
LiAngelo
Hornets
alone.
organization.
Leave LiAngelo alone. He hasn't
but-
done anything.
LaMelo's turned the fuck up since then, and he's been hooping his ass off, you know? So
Yeah,
I
he's been
expect them
triple-double
to
machine.
be... Yeah, exactly. So I expect them to be better, but if they don't end up being better, I still think this is like a safe-ish range for them.
Yeah, I think right now, like without Miles Bridges is kind of where I expected them. The push that I thought that they were gonna make this year was because Bridges was coming back. And so like he obviously like he hasn't been here. And so I mean, I'm very interested in their next 10 games. And once they get some more scoring, like if they stay here at this level, then it's gonna be kind of concerning. But the teams above them in the East, I like look, Brooklyn is 6-5 and they're in the 7th seed. It's not obviously 3-7 is not where you want to be, but it's not like getting into the play-in range is incapable at this point of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. So
And honestly,
like you can win 3 straight games and be fine.
And honestly, you profile this team as somebody building around LaMelo Ball. You have Terry Rozier next to him as another good offensive guard. You have some interesting forwards, PJ Washington, soon to be Miles Bridges, Brandon Miller's a rookie. A lot of good scorers, right? You
Yeah.
would think they'd be a solid offense. That'd be what carries them. And they haven't. They're the 11th offense in the league right now with LaMelo Ball having a slow start. The problem is they're dead last in defensive rating with 120 defensive rating. Ridiculous.
Whew.
That obviously has to change. You know, they have Mark Williams. That's his name, right? The center? Or am I
Yes,
blanking?
Mark
Yeah.
Williams.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was wrong for a second. Maybe the rim protector of the future clearly hasn't been enough. I'm looking at their numbers right now. They actually, part of it may be bad luck because teams are currently shooting 39.5% from 3 against them,
Yeah.
which is, you know, a lot of times teams start the year having crazy good shooting luck on defense and makes them one of the best defenses in the league. And we got to be like, relax. Teams are going to start hitting threes against them. But maybe it's the opposite for the Hornets. Maybe they're just being really unlucky because that's pretty ridiculous. The next team is 36%, so
Bro.
they might just be unlucky.
And I think that's what it is.
Yeah. And
Ooh, they're also never mind. One more number. They're 29th in half court offense. I mean half court defense. That's the problem. 103 points.
I
per play.
digress.
But it makes sense, right? I
Every-
feel like LaMelo Ball's defense has been very unimpressive this year.
Yeah, listen, every alert, every red flag needs to be blown when you let the Washington Wizards drop 132 points on your head.
Not great.
Listen,
There's
man,
issues.
Look, the Brunch Boys are some scorers. All right, they're getting shots up. All right, Kuzma and Poole, they're gonna chuck.
They also give up the most transition points in the NBA on defense. So they don't get back on defense. They don't do well when they do get back in the half court. They're just bad all around.
Yeah, that's uninspiring.
Yeah.
That's
But you
uninspiring.
know, kind of expected from a young team, but I'm not sure I have faith that I'll turn around. So if that doesn't, then the whole idea of me thinking they can be like a 9 seed or so, that's out the window.
A team that's not young to turn the page, a team that's not young that I want to conversate about a little bit with y'all. The Los Angeles Clippers, why are they at 22 for you guys?
Before I give my opinion, Donovan, the end of last episode, you told people to comment, Clipper slander is coming. At that point, they were 0-3, and you were like, listen, I'm watching. Now they're 0-5. Donovan, I want you to ISO. I'm going to move my mic away from me. This is Donovan time.
ISO. Nah, these dudes suck, man. And I love it. And I love it. I really do. Listen, James Harden has come in and ruined the vibes of yet another team. And it's crazy because this was something that like all of us had on our radar. And it was something that was like very apparent in the Nuggets game the other day where they were making this comeback. They were knocking down all these threes. And like Russ is playing really well. And then you bring James back into the game. Russ goes on the bench and everything just looks clunky. And it's like, yo, what is going on here? They are losing. They are currently losing all the minutes when James Harden is on the floor. They win the minutes when he's off the floor. And you leave every game, at least in the first, 6 games, thinking, are they better off not making this trade and just keeping everything that they were doing and letting Russell Westbrook cook, letting Paul George, who was cooking at the start of the year, keep doing what he was doing, letting Kawhi get into his mode? And the answer is probably yes. And it's like James Harden comes in, he's like, oh, I'm still not in shape. We'll see how long that takes. They don't know what rotations to play. They're too small. They don't have anybody to do the nitty-gritty dirty work. And you might have just messed up whatever rejuvenation that you got out of Russell Westbrook. So, yeah, listen, the Clippers did what they always do, and they messed up. They squandered a very good opportunity to be kind of solid. And so I hope that they keep losing. And this is fantastic. This last week of basketball has been one of my favorite weeks of Clipper basketball since since the week that they've blown the 3-1 lead. I've never enjoyed Clipper basketball more than right now.
Wow,
when
man.
James Harden's on the court, the Clippers have a 105.6 offensive rating, would be dead last in the NBA by a wide margin. When he's on the court, remember I said that the Hornets had a 120 defensive rating and I was like terrible?
Yeah.
When James Harden is playing, the Clippers have a 125.
Dude, I thought he was supposed to be the system. Instead of being the system, this sounds like
he's a system error.
System error, systematic impression, like whatever you want to call it. He is the worst thing to happen. But honestly, sitting down and seeing what their big brother has done with someone like Austin Reeves, you know, like putting him on the bench. Yeah, putting him on the bench and letting him cook off there and figure shit out. If James Harden did have such a huge ego and all this, I don't want to say baggage behind him or whatever, but if James Harden didn't have such an ego, I think honestly the Hornets or the Clippers would be better off having him come off of the bench. But I know that would just cause so much friction and he would just be OD unnecessary if that was to be the case. So instead, someone like Russ has to come off the bench, which I don't think is necessarily the best for the entirety of their team. Someone like Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And speaking of Kawhi Leonard, since James Harden been there, he's been looking like Rudy Gay, man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all messed up over there. It's all messed up over there.
I definitely don't think James Harden should come off the bench because I feel like when you make a trade for him, this team can only succeed if they can get James Harden to work. If they can find an idealized version of this core that works. So I feel like if you punt it on him to the bench, one, like you said, ego, it's never going to happen. Even if you would be down, I just think that limits your ceiling. You have to find a way to make it work or else you might as well blow the fucking team up.
I don't even think that'll limit your ceiling. Of course, he can play like closing minutes. I just think like him coming off the bench, he will be the best six man. He won 6 man of the year or before, but he'll be the best 6 man as possible.
Yeah, and why not have Russ do that?
Why not have Russ do that? Because James Harden is better. That's why. He'll be better.
So why would you have Russ off the bench if he's better?
While I have Russ off the bench
for fit.
Yeah.
I think like
Russ is a worse fit.
No, he's not. Did you not see how he had Kawhi and Paul George playing at the start of the season?
You
can't say he's a worse fit off of
that. Now that the slander's out the way, let me be devil's advocate. They're going to be fine long term. They've played together for a few games. James Harden didn't have a training camp, didn't have a preseason because of his own volition because he wanted to hold out and force his way out. So not to give him a pass, but that's why he's out of shape and looks like shit right now. That's why he's not moving on defense, doing anything. That'll improve. It improved in the last game against the Nuggets. They almost beat them. We actually saw them moving off ball, making threes, and like not just standing looking at each other. And honestly, it's not just that Harden has been bad. It's not just his fault.
No,
Kawhi Leonard has been trash.
Yes.
Have you all seen Kawhi Leonard's numbers?
Yes.
Kawhi Leonard has not been good for his standards at all. He's shooting 37% from mid-range. Usually he's at around 49%. He needs to be better and play like a superstar because right now it's Paul George looking like the best player on the team, Kawhi Leonard looking like a shell of himself, and James Harden trying to fit in while Russell Westbrook is a square peg that's trying to do his best. But listen, there's only so many balls to go around, and he's the fourth least talented player there. It's gonna be better, but it's not just his fault. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's not his fault whatsoever. I think with all that context put into place, Harden being ingratiated into this brand new whole system, and also him having to play into game shape, it would be so much easier to at least have him start off coming off of the bench like immediately. You know what I'm saying? And maybe as the season goes on, you can toy with certain things or whatever, but just throwing them into the fire and be like, figure this shit out after they got off to a pretty good start. It just logically makes more and more sense. But of course, I'm using that with hindsight, obviously. So I think they'll be fine overall at the end of the day, you know?
Okay, so we said they'll be fine because they'll be better than like 0-5, obviously.
Yeah.
But what's fine look like? Like, can they be a contender with this?
No.
There's a reason to doubt that they can't be a top tier team. Like, you could say that the ceiling isn't quite there because maybe it'll never work, especially because Ty Lue just said that he has no intention of bringing Russell Westbrook off the bench. They're going to rock with these four and try to make it work. Is that ceiling still there?
No, it's not. I don't think it's there. I think that I think when you look at like, if you think that top 3 is or top 4 is kind of like the ceiling for them, and you go down the list of teams in the Western Conference, are they better than Denver? No. Are they better than Minnesota? No. Would you take them over Oklahoma City? No. Would you take them over Sacramento? No. Like there's a handful of teams that I would easily say no, and then you get into a bunch of conversations about like whenever they start clicking and doing stuff like this. But I expect Kawhi Leonard to play better. Obviously, like his level of play has been very, very bad. But the fit and the issues that they have right now, I think when you bring James Harden into the building, like he said, I'm the system, and Mo said it jokingly, but it's actually real. Like he brings those systematic issues to your offense. And I don't think that that's something that just goes away, because we haven't seen it go away in his entire career, especially this last, 3-4 years.
Yeah.
So no.
I'm just concerned that is Kawhi going to be able to get on track when I feel like the problem that people point out is obviously it's quick to jump to James Harden that his system doesn't work here. I feel like Kawhi's system might not work with James Harden in a way that we kind of assumed it would, because he's capable of playing off ball. He can shoot from the perimeter. Theoretically, he can cut, but like he just doesn't do it a lot. And does he want to? And is he going to make that effort?
And that's a major, major problem in terms of the fit where Kawhi, and we're 10 games into the season. I know for a fact that Kawhi Leonard is going to miss 15 games for the rest of the year minimum, right? Is he going to want to do all the things that you need people who play alongside James Harden to do? And that's been something that like has been a factor in like all of their careers, in Russell Westbrook's career, James Harden's career, and now Kawhi's. Now that you have this other star, now that you have this other ball dominant person who can lead an offense at times, are you going to be willing to do the cuts? Are you going to be willing to catch and shoot? Are you going to be willing to set screens, to do all these things? And if everybody's not doing it at a consistent level, then I don't see where the ceiling of this team is to find continuity this year.
Yeah, man. It's so hard for Kawhi too, because like Paul George is on a tear, and going away from him or deducting his touches would be the wrong decision to make. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why it's so hard and it's so like kind of clunky. I think the fit between those two already, it's good. It's fine. No one would say they're like one of the best fit. The synergy between the two is A1 because they are the same exact archetype of player. You know what I'm saying? So it's just hard. It's just hard. And like the thing for Paul George is that he is one of those players who can literally play with anyone in the NBA because of he can shoot, get to the mid-range, and also get to the paint with ease. And of course, Kawhi Leonard can do those things, but he just does them in a different, little bit slower and more methodical way. So when you add that alongside James Harden and Paul George there and Russell Westbrook, just so much shit going on. And Kawhi Leonard just seems like the personality to just like be like, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling until like the ball comes to me. And that's where the Rudy Gay effect comes in.
You know what I kind of feel like? I kind of feel like if I'm their GM, I might have to trade Russell Westbrook. And it's not his fault at all. For years, we said that the Clippers need a point guard because, like Mo just said, the fit between Paul George and Kawhi is decent, but it's kind of Jason Tatum and Jalen Brownie where they do the same thing and don't really play make for others quite as well. They're better than those other two guys, but, you know, they needed that playmaking punch alongside them. They got it with Russ. We all said that Russ looked a lot better for them than he did the Lakers, and we saw the vision there of him kind of, you know, saving his career and giving this team a little bit what they need. And then in a vacuum, you'd say the same thing about James Harden. But now that they got both of them, it's kind of just like one too many cook. You know what I mean? Like it's like one more piece than they needed. When they needed one, now they got two. And they're not going to bench Russ because they've all put so much into the fact that I respect him and I want him to be a part of this core. Ty Lue thinks it. Paul George thinks it. Every time he's on the pod, he's talking about that. Kawhi probably messes with Russ a lot. They're going to give him that respect. I think the GM might have to take it into his hands to eliminate one of these problems, to do the whole Ewing theory, less is more thing. That might have to be what happens.
Such a shame.
Because it's not his fault at all.
It's such a shame because he went there at the lowest point of his career and started doing the stuff that they needed him to do and like really revitalized kind of the public image of himself. and now they're just gonna ship him out for
They
James.
probably won't. They probably won't.
I don't think they will. And so I'm just talking about like in theory. I think that would be extremely detrimental to the vibes of the Clippers, which probably right now are already low.
You're right.
That's
maybe they shouldn't do it because of that. Exactly. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they shouldn't do that because of locker room issues. That would just like send a bad message to a team that honestly is on the verge of exploding if it doesn't go well this year. So maybe I'm wrong in that way. But if they're not going to bench him and they're trying to make this work, maybe inevitably Ty Lue will realize like we have to bench him because like there's no other way. We've invested so much into Harden. You can't bench Harden. But I'm not entirely confident this 4 is going to make sense long term.
I don't think so either. It's time for Ty Lue. Listen, hit that peace sign. Hit that peace sign. Send in your resignation by All-Star break. You can be somewhere you want to be by next year. You can be on a beach. You don't have to deal with this time. You don't. You don't. You deserve better. And this is a very tough spot for him to coach in. So
yeah, it's very tough for any coach. This is a hard situation to make work.
Yeah, man. And right now,
the Clippers.
The GM
none of us are sad about it either.
Frustrations and shit. And all they can do is just find pieces around, whether it be in free agency, like they did with Daniel Tice, and just pick him up because they need some type of big body, even though he's not really a big body, but he's a decent player, you know what I'm saying? Cool. And so that's all that they can do at this point in time. And these players, along with Ty Lue, are just gonna have to figure this shit out.
Exactly. We'll see if they can. But I think that's enough Clippers talk. We had to give a rant about them. We had to talk about it. I think we finally move on to the top 20 where things get interesting.
Let's do it.
We're starting with Mo. Talk us through your first 5, Mo, here in the 20s.
All right. So at number 20, I have the New Orleans Pelicans at number 19, the Orlando Magic at number 18. I almost had a stroke, but I have the Atlanta Hawks. 17, the Houston Rockets, and 16, the Knicks.
Whew! I'm not gonna lie, man. I think your list sucks. I'm not gonna lie.
Tell me why do you think it sucks?
The Rockets at 17?
Come on.
Yeah, the Rockets have been great, but
I have the Rockets top 10. I'll just spoil my list.
Ooh, top 10. Your list is horrendous as fuck if you have them at
This
top.
is power rankings. This is based off this year.
I understand that it's based off of this year, but you have to also take in consideration what actually happened within those 10 games and who they played. Okay. And if you look at who they played De'Aaron Fox twice. My bad, not De'Aaron Fox twice. They played a Kings team without De'Aaron Fox twice. True. They also played an AD-less Lakers. You know what I'm saying? True. They played the Denver Nuggets. They got a fucking great win against them. That was without Jamal Murray. I give them kudos for that. They did exactly what they should do, but I'm not warranting them. Because of those wins, I'm not like letting them be top fucking 10. You know what I'm saying?
The Nuggets are 9-2. They beat the Nuggets. You said
no, I know. I gave them kudos.
You said they did what they should do. They should not beat the Nuggets. They should not beat the Nuggets. That's a great win.
Without Jamal Murray immediately, like, of course they should beat the Nuggets or whatever.
You're still playing Jokic.
Yeah, you're playing Jokic. I understand that. But
they've lost one game since Jamal Murray went out. It doesn't matter. Like, that's still a fantastic win.
I know.
But I see what you mean. The strength of schedule isn't amazing. I get it.
Exactly.
I get it. I think 17 is a bit low even with that. But I understand. I thought the same thing. That's why I put them lower. Like, they're the 4 seed in the West. I don't have them as like the 6th best team because of that reason. So I'm with you. I just think 18 is a little bit low still. 17. Like the Knicks over them. Like I don't understand that. But outside of that, I respect the rest of this list. You have the Hawks lower than me. Tell me why.
Look at Trae Young's shooting percentage, and then that'll be your answer, right? All right, all right. You know what I'm saying?
You're taking the turn to pessimism with this team. That's interesting.
I mean, like,
he gave up on Trae Young 3 games into
everything. Everything pretty much is working for this team, and the potential is maximizing. Quinn Snyder has been doing almost everything perfect. He's not the perfect coach, but he's a pretty damn good coach, and you can't really have any complaints. And if Trae Young was playing at peak Trae Young form that we saw, not last year because that shit was ass, but the year before last year, you know what I'm saying, that this team would be probably a top 3 seed in the Eastern Conference right now and be sitting at 7-3, you know what I'm saying? But instead, Trae Young's over here shooting 35% from the field and 27% from the 3-point line. And I think the main thing with him is that he's trying to figure out how to work this offense while also going through his own shooting goals, and the shooting goals specifically being his floaters and scoring in the paint. It's absolutely horrendous, and it's been horrendous since last year, and he has to figure out that whole spiel. So yeah, it's a lot. He's going through a lot.
That's what made him good, was his floaters and his 3-point shooting off the dribble. And right now, from floater range, 37%. 2 years ago was 47%. Even last year was 47%. From 3, 28% right now. Listen, last year we said he was in a shooting slump, and we were like, he'll be fine. How many more games until this isn't a slump?
And because of
that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember when Mo was like, oh yeah, like Trae Young, he's one of the 5 best shooters, one of the 10 best shooters of all time. We were like, hey, like pump the brakes. And this is why. This is why. It's not a.
You want to hear some interesting numbers?
It's weird.
We give Trae Young credit for being a great shooter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because before last year, he was a sniper. He was great. Let me go season by season and tell you his non-corner threes. First year, rookie year, he's bad. We all knew he started slow. 32% non-corner threes. That's fine. He's a rookie. Year 2, he got a lot better, right? 34% from non-corner threes. But he shot 62% from corners, so that brought the percentages up.
Yeah.
Year 3, 33% on non-corner threes. Year 4 is when he had a good year, 38% on non-corner threes. Then last year, back down to 34. This year, 28. He's had one season in his career where he shot above average percentage on non-corner threes.
Are you telling me that Trae Young is a corner merchant?
I'm saying he's maybe just not that good of a shooter, and he just looks like he is because he takes a lot of them. And at a certain point,
okay, let me stop you there. It's not that he's not that good of a shooter. He takes not that good looks all the time because he's so trigger happy, and he doesn't realize at times, I'm 5'11".
And so that makes him into a bad shooter.
That makes him a bad shooter.
6 foot. No, it doesn't. It's not deducting his skill. It's the actual.
Hey, both matter. Both matter.
Yeah, both matter. Exactly. But one thing is not the other.
I think when you talk about someone being a good shooter, it has to be shot selection and ability to make those shots. If he can make them in a world where he was more aware of what he could make and took the right shots, then great. Then he'd be a good shooter in that fantasy world. In this reality where he takes certain amounts of shots from certain amounts of areas, he doesn't make any of them, he's a bad shooter.
Yeah.
What makes this worse? Yeah. What makes this worse is that everyone else, DeJounte Murray is having the best season of his fucking life. This is the peak version of DeJounte Murray. Jalen Johnson is fucking, like I said a couple podcasts ago, he's LeBron James, basically. Obviously not really, but he's been absolutely insane. He's an MIP candidate immediately, bro. He's been free from the shackles of Nate McMillan. And man, I got some stories to tell everyone. Man, just real quick. Back when there was the COVID days, bro, you guys know there was an NBA player by the name of Cat Barber who existed. Nate McMillan chose to play him over Jalen Johnson. The Duke
I'm not going to lie to you.
First overall pick.
I don't know who that is.
I'm not going to lie to you. Who the fuck is Cat Barber?
That's a real NBA player name, bro.
I watch a lot of basketball. Barber. I watch a ton of basketball. I've never heard that name.
That name exists, bro. Cat Barber.
Never heard it.
That's how bad it was.
Of Cat Barber?
Please show me Cat Barber. Is this spelled like cat, like the animal?
CAT, I believe. CAT, straight up Cat Barber.
Cat Barber. Like he gives like he cuts cat hair. Cat Barber.
That man right
Dr.
there.
Seuss character.
Nate McMillan just decided to play that man instead of Jalen Johnson. That's how bad it was. But
Cat Barber sounds like a kid's show, like Paw Patrol, like for giving animals jobs.
Man. It was that bad. It was that bad. But Jalen Johnson's a great player.
Hey, shout out Cat Barber. He got his time in the NBA. Nate McMillan has a special spot in hell.
That is a true gospel of every Atlanta Hawks fan.
That seems a bit much. He's been a bad basketball coach.
0 points per game. This man is Pepe Sanchez.
Nah, don't disrespect Pepe.
Right, he has two. My bad. He got a good two.
Exactly.
Let's move on.
Yeah, man.
Let's reveal the next 5 in this tier. We got Donovan.
All right. At 20, I have the Toronto Raptors. 19, I have the Orlando Magic. 18, I have the Phoenix Suns. 17, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. 16, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. Where do y'all want to start?
Lakers and Suns and Cavs. Okay. I have the Cavs in this range too. Mo has them higher. Just we'll review my next 5.
Okay.
At 20, I have the Pelicans. 19, I have the Nets. 18, I have the Cavaliers. 17, the Magic. And 16, the Knicks. I don't have... You have the Suns and you have the Lakers here. We both have them higher. Yes. Tell us why.
The Lakers, I feel like the Lakers at 16 are fine. Like they're just like a regular team. Their record is fairly regular. They haven't been amazing. They've had some losses where people have been out, and I don't know. I'm just not impressed with the Lakers. Austin Reeves hasn't, Austin Reeves hasn't been the same as last year. They've had to do a lot of shuffling. Rui also hasn't been the same as like the playoff Rui that everybody like thought was going to happen. And like I think that they are going to get better, right? I don't think that they're going to stay in this range, but the one thing that is concerning for me is the fact that LeBron it looks like LeBron has to do more than ever right now. And that's kind of concerning long term. But like they're an okay team. I don't think that they're top 10. I think they have a lot of stuff to work on, but they're just mid right now. But like
I agree.
But like on a decent side of mid.
Yeah, I give them benefit of the doubt. They're clearly the next tier for me. I don't have them top 10 either.
Yeah.
But coming to the season, I think we all would have had them lower half of top 10. They're below that now, but I did the same thing with the Suns where they've played good enough. They're both around 500, but they had a ridiculous amount of injuries. So I didn't expect them to play like a top 10 team. So I'm not going to hold them against them entirely. Like, have they been the 16th best team in the league this year? But then, sure, that's fair.
Probably, yeah.
But they've also, listen, Rui missed a ton of time. Vando hasn't played a single game. Gabe Vincent played 3 games and is out for a month. Jackson Hayes missed a lot of time. Missing one more I'm not thinking of. I can't remember. But there was a point where they were missing 4 or 5 rotation players and had to just get it out the mud. And they got enough wins out the mud where I respect them for playing good enough with the hand they were dealt. Mm-hmm. It's impossible to be good when you're missing 5 rotation players out of your top 10. No team would ever be good in that circumstance.
And like, okay, look, like, and I get it. I think that they're going to be better, but there's other teams in the league who have also had like a couple of, either just more impressive wins or they just haven't dealt with injuries. And it's not their fault, right? It's not the Lakers' fault that everybody's hurt. So that's why I have them at, like in this tier, and everybody else I kind of feel just looked a little bit more impressive than what they.
I get that. I did the same thing with the Suns. So I made a concerted effort to not let myself hold teams accountable for wrong word, to not ding teams too much for injuries. Mm-hmm. But that's just me because I've always been like that. I think people overreact way too much to injuries. But I understand if you're not doing that, if you're strictly going off of what happened this year, which I guess is the true spirit of a power rankings. Yeah. So you're probably right. But listen, I think I'd rather add context and try to give a little bit of thought on what I think really matters to me.
Yeah, exactly.
But I get it.
110% agree. Not too outlandish, but it's okay.
So, Donovan, did you have the Knicks lower or are they higher?
They're higher.
Oh, okay. Because I get it. We have them on the fringe, but you put the Lakers and Suns down, so the Knicks go up. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Listen, we both have the Cavs here. The Cavs have been trash.
They have been.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Well, listen, they're also another team that started off with a lot of injuries. Garland missed a ton of time. Jared Allen missed a ton of time. And it's just they started off slow. They couldn't really maintain. They've had some good moments when Garland and Allen are back, but we're still not seeing the offensive leap that we are hoping like Evan Mobley takes. D-Mitch he's been good.
He's been great. He's been putting damn near 30 a game.
I need to see a little bit more from all of them as like as a unit. And, and once they start stringing together wins, then it'll be good. They did get a couple wins against the Warriors. I don't know how great that looks right now, but it's okay.
I can understand putting the Cavs this slow because, you know what I'm saying, folks have been in and out and all that other stuff. But again, I like to add context into the situation. But with that, with people being in and out, and Donovan Mitchell has still been him, Evan Mobley, although you haven't seen that leap, he hasn't regressed to any sort so far this season at all. And then on top of that, their free agent signing, specifically Max Strus, has been playing pretty well. And he's been the exact shooter that you want, and you need to take that next step. And right now, it's just all about the rest of those guys getting up to par, up to speed. Jared Allen in the court consistently, and also Darius Garland getting his footing right, not turning the ball over. I think he's averaging like an insane 5 turnovers a game, something crazy like that. And we all know that's just not him. So I think there's a combination of things going on right now, and that's why I have him higher compared to where you guys have him at 18.
Yeah,
and 17.
I want to give them the same benefit of the doubt I gave to the Lakers and Suns in terms of like I think they'll be good. They're just missing their core players. But it's not. I don't think it is just that. I think they have just also been kind of shitty, even when their players are there, for a variety of reasons. Like you said, Darius Garland hasn't been good at all. really, for what you'd expect from him. 6.2 assists, 4.8 turnovers. That's a pretty abysmal ratio. He's on Cade Cunningham time.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I haven't quite been able to figure it out myself watching them. Their team defense is ass. Like, Evan Mobley's still the level of defender he always has been, so it's not him. But I'm looking at their lineup data right now. Their most common used lineup is their starting lineup, despite the amount of injuries. Garland, D. Mitch, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. 125 minutes together. 125 possessions together. Decent sample size, nothing huge. It's over a tenth of their total possessions. They have a 119 defensive rating. That would be second worst in the NBA. Even with their best players, they are not a good defense. When last year, that was their calling card. They were a top 3 defense all year. They have to get that together, or they're not going to hit the expectations you'd expect from them. And soon we're going to be having conversations about D. Mitch leaving.
Oh man! First off, we've been having these conversations because he's just like, it's just very clear that he doesn't like love Cleveland, right?
Yeah,
he didn't want to go there in the first place. Wanted to be a Knick, but yeah, I mean, listen, I had to put that out there.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. 17 is very weird because I thought that this team could sneakily be like one of the, not even sneakily, I thought that this team would be one of the best in the East. And for them,
and it could be.
Hopefully.
They need time to gel. But
I mean,
they're not defending well.
Do they need time to gel? You play the whole season? Like, I don't think that they're in the stage of their development where gelling should be on like the top of their mind.
I just mean because Garland and Jared Allen have missed time. And they've been in and out and are clearly recovering from those injuries. Yeah. Jared Allen's been on minutes restriction, which has been hurting them. It's probably a good portion of why their defense has been so trash. Like, he's a big part of that. And Garland has going through his issues that you think will iron out over time, right? Like, he's not gonna be averaging 5 assists for the whole season.
Yeah, exactly. Or 5 turnovers. Yeah, he's not gonna be averaging 5 turnovers for the entire season whatsoever. So that's why I'm just like, this is the beginning of the season. You see the craziest shit, and you see the most haywire numbers that don't really add a lot of context into these things. And so I'm just going to ignore that atrocious defensive rating. Look at it for sure. Pay attention to it a little bit, but I'm not running away from it. I think it should be something to be ignored because there's been countless times, and NBA history tells us that these 10-game starts don't mean a damn thing when you have an 82-game season. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like there's only so much you can like, you know what I'm saying, take into real account and run with.
They're still an elite rim defense. That's good. So the Evan Mobley, Jared Allen pairing still makes sense. They're third in rim percentage allowed. Oh, never mind. I figured it out. It's just like the Hornets. It's bad shooting luck. Once again, teams are shooting 40% against them from 3.
Oh, okay. So
that happens.
It's like, there we go.
It's matchup based. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like you can look at it, pay attention to it just a little bit, but it's not nothing to hone in on and like be like and like drive it home as a narrative. That's where
sample
I
size,
think you get into trouble.
That'll recover. Okay, so that makes me feel a little better. I got to watch more to figure out what else, because like, it's probably not just that, but that makes a big difference. Getting 40% of your threes made against you, it's hard to recover from that.
You're gonna lose
40% of 3 teams shooting your ass out and getting 40% of threes against you, and then there's Jared Allen in and out the lineup. Like we said again, Darius Garland coming in and out. There's a lot going on there, and it's going to take a little bit of time for them to get their strides running. And what they do get them running, I think Donovan, they still have the chance to reach your expectations.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope so. Because I don't think outside. Well, yeah, the East is like outside of the top 2 spots, I would say. And maybe I'm forgetting somebody off the top of my head, but there's some spots open at the top behind Boston
for sure
and Philly.
How y'all feel about the Magic? I see y'all got them a couple spots lower than me. I think me and Donovan specifically. I don't know. I don't remember how you felt, Mo. We're really high on them coming into the season.
I think I was higher than you guys coming into the season.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
I think you were.
So right now, I can go ahead and pull up the stats. So in our season prediction episode that we did a couple weeks ago, you, Isaac, had the Orlando Magic as the 8th seed. I had them as the 9th seed. So actually, I lied. I was a little bit lower.
Capper.
And then Donovan actually had them as...
I had them in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, I believe you had them in the playoffs. Yeah, you had them in the playoffs. I don't know where they are in your list, though. Yeah, for some reason, it's not showing up here. Yeah, I'm supposed to be lking at it right now. So 73
right, pages. You probably had them in the same range.
Yeah,
He probably had him the same range.
Oh, he had him
right now. They're 6-5, the 9 seed. They just won on a game-winning shot from Paolo Banchero over the Bulls yesterday, where they were up by 1 million and then had to hit a game-winning shot because they blew it in the second half. And I think that's the story of this team. Right now, in the first half, they have the best point differential in the league. They are blowing teams out in the first half, literally more than anybody in the league, literally more than Nuggets, literally more than Timberwolves, everybody. But in the second half, they have the worst point differential in the league. That's insane to be best and worst in each half. They're the literal best team in the league at building leads and the literal best team in the league at blowing those motherfuckers. That's nuts.
Yeah, these people are ridiculous. They also can't shoot to save their lives. And like,
that's why they blow these leads.
Exactly. They can't shoot. The spacing on this team is one of the hardest things to watch in the league because nobody on this team can stretch the floor. And so you just have Paolo and Franz working into a whole bunch of clutter. You got these guards that they're still trying to figure out which one of these point guards is going to be the guard of the future. And it's clunky. That's the only word that I can use is that their entire offense is clunky and it's not as smooth. Like Franz hasn't been as good as we thought he would to start the season. Paolo had a rough start. I wonder if they're going to be able to like reach those expectations, considering that like none of these guys can shoot. Like they're going to have to make a move.
100%.
They have to make a move, and that's going to be in their near future. If they want to really make a push this year, because you have to allow those guys space to operate and really get everything going.
You want to know something interesting about Paolo Banchero?
Please tell me.
I'm the 11 games of this season and the last 17 games of last season, so 28 game sample size since March of last year, essentially.
It's going to be gross.
He's shooting 40% from 3.
On how many attempts?
For this season, it's 3.2.
Okay.
Which isn't a ton, but it's not. You would like them to get to more eventually, but it's not a tiny sample size.
Yeah. I think
it's pretty encouraging.
I think it's clear as day. And also, while you're throwing out stats, you're also the number 2 defense in the NBA.
3.
That's not 3 defense
right
in the NBA. Don't look too much into that because numbers are fucking volatile as hell right now.
Let's check this shooting luck.
With that being said,
love it.
Markelle Fultz is their starting point guard, and I think it's clear as ever probably that he should be the odd man out. Nothing against Markelle Fultz. He's been pretty good throughout the last, he's been on the Orlando Magic for 5 years. He's been in the NBA for 7 years. That's crazy as hell. You know?
Wait, what? That can't
be. Yeah, man. He's been on
2017 draft.
Yeah, that's nuts, dude. That's crazy.
Goodness.
You getting old,
quick,
Donovan.
The Orlando Magic do not have good shooting luck against them. They're an actual real good defense. They're 19th in 3-point shooting allowed. So I think their defense is for real.
Okay.
I don't know if it's top 3 for real, but whatever it shakes out to be, they're matching up to our propaganda. You know,
we talked about they have no shooting.
Top 9.
They have no shooting because they have straight defenders. Markelle Fultz is big. Jalen Suggs is a good defender. They have 2 big forwards. Wendell Carter got hurt. Before that, he's there. He's a solid defender. And they were, for most of last season, especially second half of the year, they were a top 10 defense. So I can buy that they're making a legitimate defensive leap, which is why I gave them a little more credit than y'all did, because I think shooting can be figured out with a move, with lineup configurations, with eventually they bench one of these guys we're talking about. But I think strong defenses is a really good building block to build off of. And I tend to give people credit for that because I think that's, like I said, a strong foundation that's consistent.
That's fair.
I give them that.
That's fair. When they make the move, I will be more than happy to move them up my list, right? But until then, when you are bottom 4 or bottom 5 in the league in 3-point percentage, this is your range. This is your lot in life. So
they're 6-5. They're winning games.
I understand. You're still this is this is power rankings, right? We're doing these rankings regardless. Well, not regardless, but the record is not the only thing. And there's a lot of 6-5 teams or 6-6 teams. They just they're not passing the eye test right now.
Listen, if you watch Jalen Suggs, that'll tell you all that you need to know about the Orlando Magic. Of course, Paolo and all that too, but he's a huge factor into their success. I said last episode that every game that he plays, to me, it seems like he's fresh off a line of coke. He's just so energetic, and he's so I'm willing to do it all. And I said during my X Factors episode, like, if this dude can shoot 35% or something like that from the 3-point line, they'll be a lot better, and he can solidify and lock down his spot, because outside of that, he does everything that you'd want your maybe 5th or 4th best player on a team to do. Does all the dirty work. He can handle the ball a little bit. He's been shooting a little bit, and he's a fucking insane defender and just does everything that you'd want. He's been shooting 33%. You can get that a little bit higher. You know what I'm saying? They'll be in good spot. And of course, if they make a trade for or trade away Markelle Fultz, they'll be straight.
Yeah. Before we move on to the next category, we have to talk about the Pelicans a little bit, because the other day in the media, and I think after a practice, there was a clip. Zion Williamson was huffing and puffing, breathing like he's 450 pounds. That was everyone's takeaway. But
450, that's all right in
there. But the real thing I thought was, he said, "I'm trying to buy into the system. You know, it's been a little hard. I'm trying to do my best." Blah, blah, blah. He said, "We have a team meeting last year where people talked to me and said I need to do better and be a better teammate. Now I'm trying to buy in." And he said it like it's a struggle. Like he's struggling to buy in, and that's the issue there. I don't know what that means, because what is he buying into? He has his highest usage rate of his career, but just hasn't quite looked as good. It looks like I don't know if he's carrying too much weight, if it's a conditioning thing, if it's a injuries adding up thing. But to me, he doesn't look like quite the athlete he was last year. And It's kind of concerning.
That's my biggest takeaway is for like, when we've seen Zion in the Spurs that he's played, every time he's been on the court, it's just been like, oh my God, like look at what he's doing.
Man's a god.
That's what I'm saying. His second jump was always like fantastic. He's jumping over everybody. Like, you know, nobody in the league is jumping with Zion. Nobody wants to get in front of him. And that's not necessarily like the case. Like it doesn't seem like he is as much of a like dominant jumper, fearless like leaper and stuff like that. And like you said, the usage rate, you would think that with CJ McCollum out, now would be the time that Zion's like, oh, okay, I can step up and I'm just gonna dominate and wreck the league. And it's not that right now. And now they also have a lot of injuries that have been plaguing them. Trey Murphy's been out. They need his shooting. They obviously
CJ.
Obviously the CJ thing, they need his shooting, his playmaking. But for Zion, that comment was also very big for me, because now seems like the most perfect time for you to love the system, considering that it's all about you.
Yeah. It's so hard to figure them out. Go ahead.
Before last year, I think Mo said this a lot. He said his biggest issue with this team was just too many cooks. Too many people need the ball, and it's just doing too much, too many cooks in the kitchen. But last year, we didn't see that really matter when Zion was healthy, at least, because every game they had a guy who was playing at a legitimate MVP level. When you don't have that, and you don't have the one guy who's also a cook but can shoot the three, CJ McCollum, I think he's their most important player fit-wise. You don't have that, and Zion looks regular and doesn't kind of give them that ceiling every game of being the best player on the court. You're starting to see what Mo was scared of them having too many cooks, not enough guys that play off ball, not enough spacing. Their offense is trash because of that. Mo was right.
No, you're absolutely, you're right about me being right, of course. But the Pelicans, it's just sad because they're an okay team, and Zion hasn't been fucking terrible, but we don't talk about Zion to be regular. Nothing should be regular about him. His efficiency shouldn't be down. You know what I'm saying? He shouldn't be moving just a step or two slower whatsoever. They need him to be every bit of the superstar that everyone thought he was going to be coming out of this draft. And if he's not, then the Pelicans are just a meh product, because the construction around him is just, it's good, but it's like meh, you know what I'm saying? So
the numbers are interesting. He's still, in terms of efficiency, he's still shooting at the rim just fine, I guess. He's shooting 67%. Last year it was 69, year before that 67. That's an elite number for a forward. That's not an issue. But it's the amount of times he's getting to the rim. Last year it was 75% of his shots were at the rim. Year before that, 81%. That's an absurd amount. That's like damn near you're a lob threat. This year it's only 63%. And where that jump comes from now is he's shooting a ton of shots from floater range. Up to 36% of his shots there. Last year was 21%. So an extra really 15%. Weird. Which that just means to me is that he can't get past his guy as much. Or honestly, it's probably, his
it's a little bit of both.
He jumps at big men's face and kind of just goes at people because he can jump higher than them. And if we're saying it doesn't look like he's quite the athlete, doesn't have quite the bounce, he can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So he's taking short mid-range shots, floaters, and he's fucking horrendous at those. He shoots 28% on those. He's awful. He has no touch from the floater range, so that's bringing all of his efficiency down. Yeah, that's a problem. If you can't get to the rim as much, and all you can do is score at the rim, but you can't get there right now for whatever reason, that's kind of scary. That's a red flag.
And to add context to that conversation too, it's a little bit of that, and then it's also like Jonas Valanciunas being there. Like, of course, Jonas, I think he attempts maybe like 3 max 4 3-pointers per game, but that's not necessarily his thing. That's not his bag. No one will ever in their entire life label him as a shooter because that's not what he's made out to be. He's Jonas Valanciunas. Get your big ass in the paint. That's what he'd be doing most of the time. So Jonas Valanciunas having another extra guy being around Zion Williamson, who appears to not be at peak form, is also an issue. So I think these things Zion can either just wake up and get his body into shape 20, 30 games into the season or whatever, and all this conversation will mean nothing because he's just straight up him, the superstar. Or if he starts to struggle a little bit and maybe we don't see peak version of Zion, then they might have to make some change.
Is it his body? He's carried a lot of weight before and it's been an issue. He's never had this issue. He's always gone to the rim at an insane amount, even when he was at his biggest a couple years ago.
Yeah, but that was 3 injuries ago. And that's actually crazy to think about. Is he's been in the league for 5 years, and every single year there's been a major injury. And so it's like, if he was 2 years older than what he is right now, and he's like 26, 27, and you've already had 3 injuries to your lower body, I don't think you would expect him to be the kind of athlete that he is. And so for somebody as big as he is to have the injuries that he already has on his body, it makes sense why he wouldn't necessarily be the same athlete. So maybe
that's scary long term. Is that just going to be the thing?
No, it is. It is scary, and I kind of think I don't want to overreact, and I'm obviously like not writing him off or anything. I will say my expectations for Zion are very tempered right now. They're very tempered.
That sucks. I like Zion a lot. If he's not gonna, I will be very sad as a fan if we don't see prime Zion anymore. Because what we saw at the start of last year, when he was legitimately looking like a top 5 player in the league for that span before he got hurt, and I will feel so robbed as a fan if we don't see that version of him again.
You might want to file a police report.
I hate injuries so much.
We're probably robbed. We're probably robbed.
Yeah,
we can move on, man. Let's go. Let's move on to the next 5.
Let's get some positivity in here.
Mo, who was your 15 through 11?
Oh, you're hating. What?
What? So
man,
at 15,
drunk.
I have the Indiana Pacers, 14, the Sacramento Kings, 13, the Clippers, 12, the Cavs, and at 11, the injury-riddled Phoenix Suns.
Mo, I'm going to let you know now. You're going to get flamed in the comments for this. How in the living fuck could you put the Clippers above the Pacers?
Listen, I am taking things with a grain of salt, slightly. Them seeing how they battled against the best team in the NBA, the Denver Nuggets, gave me a lot of hope for them and their future. The next few games they go again, I think their schedule is a little bit nicer to them. I could be wrong, but I believe last time I checked, I believe it was nicer to them. And seeing how they played just gave me a lot of hope that they'll be better. They could not be worse. Now, I could be completely wrong. They're the Clippers. The worst happens to them all the time. So I don't want that to take away from how great and pretty much historic, quite literally historic Tyrese Halliburton has been. I think I said in my predictions that the Pacers are going to be like a top 6 seed, and they're probably going to end up as that once things net out at the end of the season. But don't pay too much attention don't tie them in with the Pacers. This is more so about the Clippers.
Why not?
And how I feel about them.
You put them above them. I'm definitely going to tie them in. You said you have faith. Listen. You said that the Clippers, you have faith they're going to get better. I don't need fucking faith in the Pacers because they're 7-4 and have the best offense in the league by a wide margin. I get what you're doing, but it's a power rankings, and we're supposed to be going off of like what's happened this season. And I don't know how you could possibly have the Clippers in the top 15 based on this season.
Listen,
they've lost 6 in a row.
Five in a row. Maybe by the time this podcast episode comes out, it may be 6 in a row. And at that point, this will be very bleak for me and what I'm pushing. But I digress for now. Continue. Donovan, why do you think I misplaced the Clippers?
I think you
Does he
misplaced-
think?
I think yes. I had them in my bottom 20. Like I think you misplaced the Clippers. I think you misplaced the Cavs and the Suns. I think that you are giving them a massive benefit of the doubt because of the names on their roster, and you are not actually taking into account like what they've produced on the floor. Because there's no reason why the Kings, who have also dealt with injury and have looked better than the Cavs and the Suns, why they should be at 14. There's no reason why, like Isaac said, the Pacers, who have been lighting everybody up, should be below any of those three teams. And so, yeah, I think your top three is wrong. And I think over the summer, when we made the centers list, you told me that I had made the worst list in TD3 history. I think that you've taken the mantle from that. I truly believe that.
I'm going list for list right now.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think you just like completely went into it with a different vision than we did. I think you're what you were going for was just a completely different. Like you're playing a different game than us. You're like projecting, and we're going off of what's happened this year. So we're just moving on different scales right now. We're just completely misaligned.
Maybe it's my leniency just getting to me, and me just knowing that things will realign themselves 20 games later into the season. Pacers
and that's fair. And
yeah,
I mean, not really, but whenever
it is.
whenever that happens, right? What if we get 20 games into the season, and the Clippers have won 2 more games in the next 8? What if they go 2-8 in the next 10?
Well, that's an entirely different conversation.
Why? It's a continuation of everything that they're doing right now. So how is that different?
I think the spirit of a power rankings is to react to what's happened, and then once things realign, then we adjust. So I think we went into it with a different point of view.
Yeah, this is just wrong. I'm sorry, I got it.
Show me your 5.
Yeah, let's see your 5.
Pull up my 5.
Oh, hell no. You have the Hawks top 12, and I'm a Hawks fan. Now that is a criminal right there.
Okay. Most crazy. Okay, say it first for audio listeners.
I'm gonna say my 5. I have the Warriors at 15. I have the Bucks at 14. I have the Nets at 13. I have the Hawks at 12, and I have the Pacers at 11.
Okay, so Mo is drunk. This 5 is also drunk. Why are the Bucks so low?
The Bucks should be so low.
So hard. That's why? Why are the fucking Nets above them? What are we doing? What Bucks are the 4 seed? They're 7-4.
Right when I took the crown of the worst list, you just took that shit right back from my head and placed it on yourself.
Time out. What is the point of a power ranking? Right? We are not power rankings are not supposed to go strictly based off of record or seed or anything.
Of course not.
And if you watch the Bucks are one of the worst defenses in the league. They cannot rebound for anything. They have looked clunky on offense. Now, have they won in spite of that? Yes, but if I'm watching the Bucks, they don't look like one of the top 10 teams in the league right now. They have not put that together. And for a team that has, forget all the preseason thoughts that we had, right? We thought they were going to be this like super seamless fit. Forget all that. They are not fitting right now, and they are not gelling. And so, yeah, like they have more talent because Giannis has been going crazy and the Dame went crazy last night. They also have, but that is individually, and they still have not fit together.
They're individuals on the team. Listen, they're supposed to be a top 3 team, and none of us should have them there anymore. But they're still winning games because despite not being at the ceiling they're going to be eventually, like you said, they have that individual talent. Having 2 superstars means only one has to go off and you win games, just like last night. So they're still a top 10 team. Like, they're still good. They just should be like top 2, but they're not right now.
Their average scoring margin, the amount that they win by, is negative 0.7. They have a negative point differential. They are 20. They are 27th in fast break points per game. They are what is this? They are 25th in rebounds per game. They are 28th in assists per game. They are 26th in assist to turnover ratio. Their offense is not good, and their defense is not good either.
They're 7th in offensive rating. Their offense is good. They're 7th.
It does not look good. I'm saying.
But it is.
I'm saying this is one of those things where I'm not like, this is purely, their offense at least is based off of vibes. And
I can tell.
I know it is. But everything else, like you look at the numbers, it's like, oh, you guys just like aren't like efficient. Like what it like their defense is also terrible.
No, it's bad.
and it's a lot of things going on at once. You have a new coach, you have a new roster, a new system. Everything is trying to get put into one place. And I think that through the first 10 games, they have been relatively mid. I don't think that they've been a top 10 team.
Wow. I think what this is an extreme overreaction because we were so high on them and you're so disappointed by the fact they haven't clicked like we hoped.
I'm not.
That you've gone the other way too much. All the things you said, those anecdotal stats are important elements. They're true. They're 7th in offensive rating. They're 4th in true shooting percentage as the team. They're still scoring points really well. It's been clunky. Sometimes it's been with Giannis and no Dame. Sometimes vice versa. They haven't run the pick and roll like you want. The first 4 games, I'd be with you. But they've started to come back and kind of normalize a little bit. And their offense is pretty good.
You would have them as a top 10 team right now.
I do, yes. Because it's been ugly and they haven't clicked like we wanted. But teams that have the talent and aren't clicking find ways to win games, and they have. This is one of the instances where we're not just looking at a record, but for them specifically, the fact that they're getting games out the mud and winning when they're not at their highest proves to me that once things do inevitably start to click and get to the ceiling that we hope they could be, they'll be even better because they're finding ways to win without that.
I think Donovan, in terms of what a true power ranking should be, he has probably the best spirit out of all that. And Isaac, your last sentence, eventually things will get to that point. We ain't talking about eventually.
They're winning games now.
I know,
you're
right.
7-4. They're winning games.
You're right. They're 7-4. They're 7-4.
Everything that you guys have said about the teams that we are like talking below, like the Hawks for Mo, who is low, the Magic that we put under, you understand that it's literally a 1 game difference. The 10 games, like the Hawks are 6-5, the Magic are 6-5. 10 games, as we've discussed this entire episode, is like it's a lot in terms of like it gives us the opportunity to do these power rankings. Yeah. It's also 12% of the season, and it's very short. Yeah. And so winning games is very different. Talk to me in 20 games, talk to me in 15 games, whatever. But a lot of what we have to go off of for these power rankings, at least for me, is how does it look? Are you passing the eye test right now? Because in December, then the numbers are going to even out. And then we can start, like, those will have a little bit more weight in my eyes. But they have not looked great. They haven't looked great.
I think what it comes down to for teams like this, if you can find a way to, the good teams find a way to win games when things aren't going perfectly. They find a way to execute and pull wins out. End of the day, it's about winning games in a regular season. That's the point, is to find a way to win. And they've been doing that enough in a way that's encouraging to me that they're going to continue to do that. And it's not even, I'm not even giving them that much credit in terms of like projecting, like they're just doing it now. They're winning. Like, I get it's ugly, but they find a way to win. I can't ding them that much. I can't put them below the Nets.
Finding a way to win just simply means is like, are their players, their best player, just gonna do what the best player on the court should do? We witnessed it just last night or a couple of nights ago. Damian Lillard gave the Toronto Raptors like 40. He's still the same, and that gives me trust and faith that they will be eventually locked in the future. But right now, Donovan, I kind of lean towards your way, and you swayed me.
I think
right now they probably fall this way.
I get it. I just think 14 is a little too low. Like you put them like
I honestly think that you guys would agree with me if I didn't put the Nets above them, and if I still put them at 14 and I put the Nets below them, you guys would be like, okay, like I see what you're saying. It's probably just the shock value of that.
I get like 14 is too low, but in your sentiment, I agree with. If you put them at 11 or 12, I wouldn't be mad.
Yeah, then having the Nets above them is just hilarious because the Nets have a worse record.
It's the same team.
I feel like the Nets have worse players, a worse offense. Actually, their offense is pretty good too.
They literally just have a worse record. Just leave it at that.
They're worse at everything. Like I don't know why the Nets are there.
Yeah, they literally have just a better record, bro. Yeah, it's hilarious.
Vibes.
The good vibes there. They have Cam Thomas. It's cool. Man. All right, what's my next 5?
Line it up.
At my next 5, I have the Warriors at 15. I'm going to agree there. Holy shit. Mo has the Warriors top 10. Good Lord. Okay. 14, I have the Hawks. 13, I have the Suns. 12, the Lakers. And 11, the Kings.
Shout out.
I like that you have the Kings at 11.
Like, I think the Lakers and Suns have too much credit. I think that's projecting. But like everything else is cool.
A little bit. So again, I think for what the hands they've been dealt, they've done well in those circumstances with so many injuries. So I think your standards change a little bit when you're down 5 rotation players, and they've done enough to maintain what they should be doing, I think.
No.
Yeah.
Same with the Kings. Like the Kings had a rough stretch with no De'Aaron Fox. They got him back, and they lit the Lakers the fuck up last night. The Lakers won the second half of back-to-back, and the Kings fucking pounced. And look at the Kings. They made 1,000,000 threes, and they look like they didn't lose a step once De'Aaron's back. Once De'Aaron came back, they're back to being them.
Listen, just know I capitalized on that. Just know. just know I capitalized on that.
That's when the Lakers dropped that one loss on the second half of back-to-back when AD was playing hurt.
So I knew that was going to happen. I made some personal moves.
I actually had the Hawks a little higher before the last game when they got stomped. They were I think 12. I had them above the Lakers, and I was like, I can't do it, man.
Yeah, I think 14 is maybe the right spot for them. For where your mindset is at, Isaac, yeah, I think it's the right spot for them. They're just so Trae Young is the main issue for them, and he's really one of the only reasons why they have been so meh. You can point at DeAndre Hunter, he's been meh back to his old self too. But overall, I think this list is straight.
Do they have to trade Trae Young and build around DeJounte Murray?
Let's not have those conversations right now.
They're coming.
Let's not
Pascal
have those
Siakam for Trae Young. Oh shit!
One thing I could say.
Let's talk about the Warriors. Let's talk about the Warriors. Real quick.
Let's do that.
Okay.
We have the Warriors at 15. Clearly,
yeah.
Mo has them top 10. Actually, no. Let's wait until we get to Mo's top 10 ranking of the Warriors.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing crazy whatsoever. But if we want, we can just move on to the next. One thing I can say right now is that I was heavily projecting for the Lakers, and for the Suns just a little bit. I have them a couple spots over you, Isaac, at 11. But yeah, let's look at the top 10 right now. Let's bust into this. I'm ready.
Okay.
Well,
let's bust into
10.
Mo.
I know
nothing too crazy. Okay. Wow, that was crazy.
Tell us your top
10 Golden State Warriors. Before the whole Draymond incident and Steph getting injured or
your
whatever,
list is insane.
They were looking.
You just took the crown back. You just took the crown back.
We switched over like 3 times. This
we're going list for list right now.
We're going watching the NBA this season. Keep going. Say the whole list. Say it.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, Warriors number 10, 9 OKC, 8 the Timberwolves. Moved so far up for everybody's list. 7 the Mavs, 6 the Lakers. Now, yes, the Lakers have the worst record, probably worse record than everyone, maybe except for the Golden State Warriors. But I have my reasons, and with my mindset, if you guys know, they will make sense.
Okay, let's talk about the Warriors first. Let's do
it.
Whew. I have the Warriors at 15. Donovan does as well.
Yes.
Mo has them at 10. I could have rocked with them at 10 if this was 5 games ago. Now, I'm fucking worried about the Warriors, man.
Same.
Everybody that's not named Steph Curry is buns. Klay Thompson continues to look washed. Andrew Wiggins looks like 2019 Wiggins before he came to the Warriors. He's not blocking shots
The
no more.
bust allegations?
He's playing
man,
aloof.
that's sad.
He's looking like a bust again. Draymond got himself suspended because he wanted to put Rudy Gobert in the almighty chokehold, which we didn't talk about. We will later for a certain reason. You'll see in TikTok time. But listen, they don't have that. They're not rebounding well. Dario Saric isn't a backup 5. They're starting to see the effects of that, not having another big man. Chris Paul is doing well for what he should be doing at his age. Can't score worth a damn. Nothing outside of Steph Curry is working, and I'm concerned.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. Looking back at this list, I ain't standing on this shit. If you sit here and tell me that Dario Saric is going to be the one of Steph Curry's best teammates, excluding maybe Draymond Green before he did that raggedy ass shit on the court the other night, then I'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. But yeah, they do have their concerns for sure. Steph is fucking hurt right now. I'm not sure for how long he will be out.
That too.
But that's like a TBD thing. Shouldn't be for too long, but still, that's gonna hurt in the Western Conference because teams are stacked. Yeah, so all your worries and your concerns are very fair, but outside of that, and maybe the Lakers, I believe my standings are pretty straight. I have the Mavs where they are right now because they've been fucking playing incredible. But again, I'm going back to this is where my power rankings are actually like holding true to the definition. Who have they played? You know what I'm saying? And they haven't played really impressive competition, but they've been clicking on all cylinders. But just because you've been clicking on all cylinders doesn't mean that I should warrant you above other teams who have faced tougher competition, and also have been clicking on all cylinders just like you. So,
okay, well, explain the Lakers then, because they haven't been clicking on shit, and you have 2 teams below them who are, spoiler alert, in my top 5. Go ahead and explain the Lakers.
No, yeah, just like what I said earlier with the Lakers, nothing to really explain. It's just like
He said, "I'm not
me
standing on it."
heavily projecting. That's all. Like I said, like I just said,
okay.
yeah, this is projecting.
Okay, I'll give you a break. But Donovan, let's see your top 5.
Yeah, 10 through 6 for me. I have Miami at 10, Sacramento at 9, the Rockets at 8, the Knicks at 7, and then the Thunder at 6.
The Knicks at 7. You motherfucking homer.
That is
What are you
crazy.
talking about? They have a top 5 defense in the league, and Julius Randle actually heard me and was like, "My bad." I actually
You
like
saw
this
one
city.
He heard
Julius
you.
Randle good game.
He said,
You're
Oh
like,
no,
we're back,
Donovan's
baby.
on my neck
He
right
said,
now.
listen.
I gotta go ahead and get
He said,
together.
He said, "Donovan, I apologize. I actually really like the city. I don't want to be deported. I want to be in the middle of the country. My bad. I'll start hooping. My bad. My
You
bad."
saw one good game. They said, we're so back.
Finally.
Top 10.
But listen, that game, look, we've lost 5 games, and 2 of them have been to the Celtics, who, again, spoiler alert, are in my top 5. And so, like, the other 3 games, obviously, probably shouldn't lose that. RJ, who I wrote off in the offseason, maybe I just have to do this. Maybe I just have to call all of them trash, and then hopefully they wash, and then they play better. But RJ has been really good. He was out last night against the Hawks, who we beat. Haha, right? And so then, but the defense has been great. The starting 5 is in like I checked the numbers. The starting 5 is in the 86th percentile in terms of like lineups and how much that they're winning. I think that this team has survived a god awful start from Julius Randle, and they've started to perform over the last couple games, and they're on their way up. So yeah, that's why I have them at 7. But,
Real quick,
what's up?
can I pour a little water on the RJ Barrett fire?
No.
All his numbers are all his numbers.
Stop that. Show me your 5. Show me your 5.
All his numbers are exactly
this.
this.
I don't want to hear.
Let him get his head off real quick.
He's shooting 50% from 3. Everything else is the same.
Do you understand what you just said? He's shooting 50% from 3 and everything else is the same. You can do that. Shoot 50% from 3. That's fine.
He won't though. He can't.
That's
impossible.
11 games. Let's relax.
Okay. He's doing it right now, and I'm giving him credit for that. Show me your next 5, Isaac, please.
All
and
right,
let's discuss.
Let's see my next 5.
Your hate.
My next 5. At the 10 spot, I had the Miami Heat.
6.
9, OKC. 8, the Rockets. 7, the Pacers. 6, the Bucks.
Okay.
Let's talk.
The Thunder. Why are the Thunder so low? I guess.
Why are the Thunder so high? I don't know. I mean, the idea of Thunder's great. They've been good, but like 6?
Yeah.
They've been playing well.
I don't know.
think
they've been playing good.
They're good. I mean, again, Mo's chiming in. Mo, you have my 9-2. Relax.
No, I agree. I'm on your side. Let's not relax. I'm on your side.
Okay. Yeah, they have the 9th best offense, and they have the 7th best defense. It's about 7th to 9th. Like they're winning games around that rate. It's more about the other teams. I think OKC's been good, very good. What we'd expect from them. I think we all thought they'd take the leap. They have. The Rockets have been exceptional. They won 6 straight games. They're a legit top 5 defense. I think they'll stay there. They're really, really good. They're a disciplined team that has a elite coach that found a team that'll let him be crazy and do his thing and implement a system and a team that needed that. The Pacers are the best offense in the fucking league. They can't stop winning games. And same, like I said with the Bucks, they're finding ways to win games enough that makes me think they're going to be that quality level team that we all thought they could be eventually. So while they're not the second best team in the league like I thought, 6th is a solid spot for them, I think.
Okay. When we get to this range, what I started to look at in terms of like tiebreakers was like, is what you're doing sustainable, and how much do I overall just trust you in like a playoff setting, right? So this is where a lot of the projection comes in for me. For the Rockets, I had them at 8, and I think the reason why I had OKC over Houston is because I think that what they're doing is just a little bit more sustainable than what Houston is. I think that their defense is obviously going to be like much improved, but if you go and you look at their 3-point at their opponent 3-point percentage, opponents are shooting 32% from 3 against them. Like that's gonna come back, and so this top 5 defense, I expect that to drop a little bit. Like Mo said, they've also played a lot of teams with their stars hurt. They've played 7 of their first 9 games at home. Like they're about to go on a really, really rough stretch of road games with, I guess, still like a young team. I like them, and I like what they've done. I just want to pump the brakes on them a little bit.
That's fair. We got in the same spot.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Not much brakes to be pumped. But I think the only difference is, I mean, if you want to swap them in the and the Thunder. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
The Thunder. This is really the only difference is the Rockets haven't played very many games this week. For some reason, they only played 2 games this week, so they haven't had a chance to lose more and fall down.
Yeah.
So the Thunder have like one more recently, so now they have one more win. Cool. I'm fine with that. But like, you have the Knicks there, which I think I don't see that at all. I haven't seen that quality of play over more than the last game played. But like, would you?
Now you're hating.
Did you put the Pacers yet, or Pacers in your top 5?
The Pacers were at 11 for me.
That's kind of drunk, I think. Like.
Here's
the best offense in the league.
I can't believe you have the Knicks with that much higher than the Pacers. That is insane.
The Pacers also have one of the worst defenses in the league, and it's ridiculous. And so
the best offense by far, though.
They are literally the opposite ends of the spectrum. They're last year's Sacramento Kings, and so
are the Mavs.
And the Mavs, if we're talking about what's sustainable and how much do I trust you in a playoff context, I trust the Mavs a little bit more than I trust the Pacers. But Indiana also, they give up 130 to everybody. And it's crazy. It's ridiculous. Like,
they can't stop scoring 135 though.
130 is crazy. There's gonna be nights where like you're just gonna score 150. It's crazy that I'm talking like this. Like 115 is gonna be your down game, but you're gonna score 115 and still give up 130. Like they're in track meets all the time. And I can't do it right now.
You know what's crazy though? They have the worst defense in the league. Like you said, they're polar opposites, or they're 28th in defense, first in offense.
Yeah.
They're still a top 10 net rating, which means their offense is motherfucking good. That's crazy. Teams like they're basically like the Kings of last year in terms of like the opposite ends of the spectrum. Yeah. But normally when you have that type of team configuration, you're barely winning. Like you're winning shootouts just by a little bit because you got to fucking grind for that shit. It's not normal to have a top 10 net rating with a bad defense. That's incredibly impressive.
Who have they played? Let me pull up their schedule real quick.
It's not normal because
pull it up and I won't care because Tyrese Halliburton is like God.
No, I understand that. Here's who they've played. They've played the Wizards. They played the Cavs without Garland and Allen. They played the Bulls. They played the Celtics. Played the Cavs again. Hornets, Spurs, Jazz, Pacers, 76ers. So they've had a handful of games against teams that we have in the bottom 7 of our.
Did they beat the Bucks?
Did they? Yes.
Oh yeah, they lost once and they beat
the Bucks and they beat the 76ers. Those are quality wins.
They also have a lot of non-quality wins.
And they beat the shit out of all of them. They took care of it. Like
they're one of those middle of the pack teams where you can't ding them for their schedule.
Yeah, they beat the shit out of those teams.
You just said, Mo, middle of the pack team. I had them at 11, creeping into the top 10. You guys are good. I just can't, it's just hard for me right now to look at them and everything that they're doing. I want to give them credit, and if I was hating, I would put them in the top 10 so I could, drop the Heat out of top 10 because I was wrong about them because these people just win games. And it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating watching them win games. But Indiana, to be that bad defensively is wild to me. And it just doesn't look good. I just can't get on board with it right now.
Yeah, listen, I don't think they have the 7th best chance of winning a championship. But in terms of regular season power rankings and what they've been doing,
and so far,
I think that's a formula that wins regular season games. We saw with the Kings last year. So I don't see any reason to ding them for a bad defense when the offense is that ridiculously good. If you find ways to win games every time, I don't really care. Like clearly I'm rewarding winning games more than you guys are because I think that's like what matters in the power rankings. Like if you get it done, you get it done. And if it's in a formula that is clearly
that's the opposite of power rankings.
I don't think so. Again, it's not just that. I don't think that's the case at all. I think results matter. You have to be producing. But it's also in a way that's completely replicable. That's not a fluke, right? Like if it was a fluke, like they're playing strictly injured teams or shooting 60% from 3, sure. But they're winning games in a way that's a clear identity that's going to be very easily replicate throughout the whole season. I don't see why you don't reward that.
They'll be all right. They just have it like their defense is just terrible. And it's like
just keep saying it.
No, it is. It matters. And look, there's going to be some other teams on this list who are also like flip-flopped and stuff like that. I just think that some of their wins, we might look down the line and be like, oh, it's a little fraudulent, whatever. They're good though. And we were all high on the Pacers. I like them. I'm a fan of them. But you can't give up 130 every single night.
Oh my gosh.
and try to be top 10. You can't do it.
You have the Mavs top 5.
Listen, who's
But
They're the same.
who's better?
Marginally the Mavs.
No. Who's better, Luka or Tyrese?
That's where the
we're
conversation.
boiling this shit down to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If that's what it is, I understand, Donovan.
I told
With your
you,
logic, I understand that.
No, I told you what my tiebreakers were. How sustainable is this, and how much do I trust you in a playoff context? And right now, I trust Luka to do this more than Tyrese, and I trust him to do this in a playoff context.
100%.
Okay.
And I trust
Right
Luka,
now-
sustainable.
I trust Luka much more than I trust Tyrese.
Why? I
That's
trust them
fair.
both 100%. They can both do this all season.
Tyrese is not as good as Luka, and I don't think that.
Okay.
That's not
That's
the
a
point.
conversation that no one
That is
should
my
be having right
tiebreaker.
now.
That's
though.
my tiebreaker.
That no, you're
have
thinking
them
about it
15
from like
spots
a
apart.
place. You're thinking about like a playoff type segment, Donovan. You're not 100% wrong, but I get where you're coming from. We've been talking about the Pacers and Tyrese Halliburton for it's a little bit too long, so I guess now we should switch up to the top 5.
You're right. Thank you for being an adult. Let's move on.
Move on. Because at number 5, I have the Miami Heat. They have, again, we said it all over again, witchcraft going on, but we'll touch back on that a little bit later. 4, 76ers. They're nice. Tyrese Maxey's like that. 3, projecting Bucks.
The Bucks
2,
are at 3.
Yeah, 2, everyone should be.
Yeah, walk-off set.
The Bucks, the Boston Celtics should be number 2 for fucking everybody. And at number 1, the Denver Nuggets should be number 1 for everybody, bro.
I'm with that. Obviously, I think Miami's a little bit too high, but your top 4, actually, no. I think Miami being top 5 is better than Milwaukee being top 3. I just can't get there. I just can't do it with them right now. They're not passing the eye test for me, and I just
No.
What are we talking about?
what?
When it comes
The
to
Bucks the Bucks at 3? How can we do that?
Thank you.
listen,
What are we looking at?
again,
Here?
you missed it, but I was like, Bucks.
I didn't
3,
miss it. I can hear
projecting.
you.
Yeah. You didn't hear the
it's a lot
projecting
of
part because that's what I'm talking about. So when it comes to the Bucks, 7-4, yeah, whatever. They haven't been as great as you want them to, but Dame is still Dame. Giannis is still Giannis. You literally just watch Giannis drop 54 on the Pacers' head and Damian Lillard give 40 to the Toronto Raptors, who are an elite defensive team. You know what I'm saying? So those things are tough. Can't look past by those things. And I know once 5 games go past by, I expect, and I'm hoping that they go ahead and fucking improve. Then this list will make a little bit more sense. Anything you guys want to say about the?
Don't care. I don't care. I don't care about the 50 ball. I don't care about the 37 points.
Wow,
3 is too high. It's just too high. To not have Minnesota top 5 right now is wild.
No,
Or
I
the
love
Mavs.
Minnesota. Okay, the Mavs, I will stand on it. They had a weak ass schedule, and everyone's playing at their fullest potential right now. Okay, I love them.
How
and
dare
they're doing
they?
what
How
they're
dare they
supposed-
play good?
That's
How
not their
dare they
fault,
reach
but I'm
their
saying that
potential?
doesn't warrant them to be at number 5 for me personally.
Play worse, pussies. Like
No, that's not the playing worse. But it's like, if I'm sitting down and I'm looking at the Mavs, who have they beat for real? They only beat a lot of low tier playoff fringe maybe team so far.
It's
this
not a
NBA
strength of
season.
schedule competition.
No,
They've
I'm
been
not.
good.
I'm not. I know,
no,
and
listen,
they're
that
good,
is
and they
part
put
of
them
it,
a
though.
lot
I'll give you
higher.
more credit for that.
Now listen, I had them out of the playoffs, bro. I didn't see Grant Williams being a 50% 3-point shooter. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see Derek Lively being an actual good center, not getting eaten alive every single night by the other bigs. And I gave them their credit, but I'm not giving them top 5 just yet because I want to see them do it for another 10, 20 games. And once they do that, then I'll give them their credit. But right now, nah.
Okay, well, you don't have them top 5. I do, so we're going to go into my top 5. I have the Mavericks at 5. I have the Timberwolves at 4. I have the 76ers at 3. Celtics at 2. Denver at 1. That's my top 5.
I think I have the same exact top 5. Can you reveal it, Nikhil? Yeah, I have the
Wow.
exact same top 5.
Hey, love it.
We're locked in.
Nice.
Yeah, I, mean,
that's
I
great.
think
Yeah.
the point of this isn't, you said I need to see it for another 10 games. The point of it is just off what happened this year, not what you thought coming into the season. And if you look at just what happened this season, the Mavs are clearly one of the 5 best teams. The Timberwolves, clearly one of the 5 best teams.
Easy.
And yeah, I took away preconceived notions and just reacting to this year. I think they're easily top 5. You could put them top 3, honestly. I gave the 76ers that nudge, but they could be as low as 5.
And even if you want to like knock the Mavs for their strength of schedule, it's disrespectful to not put the Timberwolves top 5. Like Anthony Edwards is disgusting, man. And like for somebody who's been trying to push this Anthony Edwards best shooting guard in the league agenda, I'm shocked.
That was for the TikTok. Relax, man.
No. You were standing on that. That's crazy though.
I was pushing my propaganda. But when it comes to the Timberwolves front, you're talking about Anthony Edwards more so. Maybe it's me appreciating Rudy Gobert more. Maybe I'm getting a little bit older, a little bit wiser and seeing his true value. But what he is doing so far this season is, I don't want to say generational, but it's special. And he is so far the defensive player of the year in this short 10-game span. And if you look at the stats, check whatever stats you want. Most teams in the NBA do not want to go ahead and shoot in the paint, and that's because Rudy Gobert is there. And if they do go ahead and get to the paint, Rudy Gobert with his big ass is deteriorating every single thing. Back when they played against the Golden State Warriors, I believe there's this play down in crunch time where CP3 was attacking the paint, and Rudy Gobert showed the slightest of presence, and it looked like for a second that CP3 had a lane or had some space to get a little layup off, or his classic fadeaway that he likes to get off near the paint, but he didn't do it, and he swung it off, and some messed up play happened. But that's all about Rudy Gobert and how great he is, and of course, you know what I'm saying, Anthony Edwards and all that. But when it comes to the number one defense, Rudy Gobert is a forefront of that.
Yeah, they're incredible. This is the part where I got to say I was wrong as shit. Preseason, I thought that it'd be a play-in range team. I actually put them at 11 in our power rankings, but I explicitly said, I don't like that at all. I think they deserve to be in the play-in race at least. I said a team's going to fall out of injuries, and I think they'll realistically be in there. I was wanting to give them a little bit of credit, but for me, a little bit of credit meant the 9th seed at most. I had completely given up on them. We had the episode where we gave our reactions to the first night of the season, which, the point was to do overreactions and be out there off a 1-game sample size. So that was the explicit purpose. Man, I gave a motherfucking reaction, and I said, this team will never have a good offense as long as they have Cat and Gobert. It's impossible. I was wrong as shit. They're really good. And the most painful part is, the start of last season, I liked them a lot. I had sold myself on the idea, and I was like, maybe they'll be the 4 seed. The season played out. The playoffs played out. Time went on, and I was like, I was wrong. They suck ass. If only I had just stuck to my guns. This is the version of the team that we had hoped to see last year that never materialized. Rudy Gobert, like you said, looks like peak Rudy Gobert. He's fully healthy again. They've finally figured out how to play with each other. They had the best defense in the league, anchored by him, anchored by Jaden McDaniels, also being a DPOY caliber player, truly one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Anthony Edwards making a leap there, being a great defensive playmaker when he has to lock in. Cat, we shit on Cat a lot. Last week, we were saying that they should probably trade him eventually because it's never going to work out. Even if they're playing well, it's going to be in spite of him. He's figured it out. Even offensively, he's figured out how to get to his spots, how to succeed next to another big, how to find ways to get to the rim by slivering around and finding ways around the help defender, by realizing he needs to be more of a pick and pop guy and create space that way. Everybody's figuring out where to find spots on the courts to make it work, and we were just wrong.
Yeah, man. They're hooping.
Whoa, you just can't say that. Give Rudy Gobert his goddamn credredit, man. Don't just say that.
I don't have to do anything. You don't have to tell me what to do.
He said, for
we
what?
can do that right now. You're not going to tell me what to do.
The number one defense, you're a defensive guy, man.
I don't have
this
to
is
do
the best
thing. I don't have to do a thing. I don't have to. What the only thing I have to do is tell the truth, and that is that Rudy Gobert is playing well. But I don't have to like Rudy Gobert. I don't have to respect his game. I don't have to do any of that. So listen, shout out to the Timberwolves. For real though, they are hooping. And for a lot of teams that come out and they light the league on fire for the first 10 games. Sometimes some of the teams that we think in the second half of our top 10, we don't think that it's all sustainable. What they're doing is 100% sustainable, and they're gonna be a really good team for the rest of the year. They honestly, listen. There's not really anybody in the West right now that I think I trust more to be
Denver.
No. I'm saying to be the 2 seed. I think, listen, Denver, this is your conference. Everything runs through you. You guys are fantastic.
After that,
exactly. After that, it's a whole big jumble. And right now, it wouldn't shock me if Minnesota came out and had the 2 seed at the end of the year.
Let's talk about why it's sustainable. Because again, we all kind of had the same sentiment that we don't see it working out fit wise. Offensively, it's I can't picture what's going to look like based on what we've been seeing. Mm-hmm. And that was because Anthony Edwards is a guy who thrives getting to the rim. He's one of the best slashers in the league. People compare him to Jordan jokingly, but realistically they compare him to like D-Wade, stuff like that. A really great slasher. Cat is known as being the best shooting big man of all time. But the other side of his game is that he's really good at...
Known by who? By him?
Okay, whatever. By him.
Who says that?
Best in the league. Okay, three-point shooting. He's clearly the best three-point shooting big man of all time. No, taking away Dirk's mid-range stuff and whatnot. But he's known for being a spacer. And other half of his game is he uses that gravity, creates some pick and pops to attack people off the dribble and uses speed to get to the rim. He's great because he can get to the rim off the dribble. You know, next to Rudy Gobert, it was like, how does he do that? There's a big motherfucker standing in the paint and clogging it up. Those are the core issues that we saw as their offense is why it can't work. What they've decided to do is just be... Let me backtrack. They still can't get to the rim. They're still 20th in rim scoring. They're not good at that. We were right. What they managed to do is be good at everything else. They're the best mid-range shooting team in the league. And that's because Anthony Edwards has become a mid-range assassin and an off-the-dribble three assassin. He's become a legitimately great shooter to the point where it's okay that he can't get to the rim. He was like, I'm not used to having a lob there. I need the space. He doesn't need it anymore. He's figured it out. He's a mid-range game where he shoots fadeaways. He can pull up off the dribble in the pick and roll. He can do pull-up threes. Space the floor as a spot-up shooter. Jaden McDaniels has unlocked a mid-range game. Cat has found his spots there. They're just finding ways to succeed despite that weakness, which is what you want.
Yeah. And look, when everybody talks about like, oh, who are the greatest scorers of all time, right? You always think about the people who like have bags and, you know, just take like hard mid-range shots. Anthony Edwards is like fully leaning into that whole like archetype. And so he is like right now, is he top 8? Like, is he top 10? Like, what? Like, where is
players in the league?
Yeah, like, where's the ceiling for at least on like the, you know, listen, we gave Shea the biggest bump in the world after last year. And if Anthony Edwards is coming out doing everything that he's doing, being able to succeed, still, like you said, they haven't necessarily figured out how to fix that issue outside of just make more shots. That's the difference. I'm just making more shots. And the fact that he's been able to get to that level, like, where are we putting Ant in the league? That's the interesting thing to me right now.
That is
10 to 15 range.
Yeah. I love that accountability that you're trying to hold NBA fans to. They boosted up, propped up Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And now that Anthony Edwards is doing a lot of those things that he did last year while also winning. He has obviously a great team around him too. He definitely is in like top 10, 12, 13-ish range. Not going to have that conversation now, but overall, everything is working for them. And I'm not going to sit here and like say like, oh, you know, they're serious finals contenders or, you know what I'm saying, anything like that. But there are things to peep. The Denver Nuggets, they probably had some of the most trouble against this team right here, the Timberwolves, and to see them get all this steam off rip at the start of the season, it's impressive, and it's something that we all need to consider. And like I said, one of my running theme for this episode is I'm not letting short sample size move me most of the time, but this short sample size right here, garnering the information from last year that we got from them when they faced the Denver Nuggets, that number one defense moves me, and them being an elite mid-range shooting team, which opens up a few things for them on offense too, it moves me. And I just don't see a world in where they fall off.
Yeah. I think they are a contender. I think whatever that means, like, are they going to be better than the Nuggets or Celtics? No. But are they in that next tier? I think absolutely. Like, in terms of like teams that have a puncher's chance, I don't see why not. The defense is fully sustainable. And like, as I said, like 5 of the last 6 champions have been based off of one of the best defenses in the league. You look at the Lakers, you look at the Raptors, you look at the Bucks, all these recent champions. They have top 3 defenses and middling offense. That's where the Timberwolves are. Number 1 defense by far. When you factor out garbage time on cleaning the glass, they're 15th in offensive rating. That's a championship formula if you have a true superstar to carry the load in the fourth quarter of playoff games. And if we think Anthony Edwards is that, if y'all think Anthony Edwards is that, this is a championship formula. Whether they'll be able to supplant those truly great teams at the top, probably not. But listen, there's most years something happens to one of those top teams and something crazy happens. If that's the case, the Timberwolves have as good a chance as anybody to get into that conversation.
Facts.
Shout out to the Timberwolves.
Facts. Yeah.
Bro, they're an aggressive defense. And right now, they're top 10 in forcing turnovers. They're number 1 in fouls. They don't foul people at all. They're incredibly disciplined and don't foul despite forcing a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Combo.
That's
that means you're an elite defensive team.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they got it. They are going to be a team that we're going to talk about for the rest of the year for sure.
You still have not said one nice thing about Rudy, man. Are you serious?
I have.
You know who I'm talking to. Donovan.
Yeah.
He's DPOY. For sure.
All right, so I really do want to talk to you guys about the Celtics, right? And so I really do want to have this conversation. Listen, I think that the Celtics, for me, like, it was a hard thing to put them at 2. Like, I honestly could have seen them at 1, but the one reason why I had them at 2 is I think that they still have a Jaylen Brown problem, but it's in a different context.
Okay.
They can't win. They're not winning non-Jason Tatum minutes even with Jaylen Brown on the floor. And I think that for a team that we've all kind of recognized has like the best top 6 in the league, and to have a guy that you just paid $300 million and is coming off like all NBA and all that type of stuff, to be losing those minutes is kind of scary to me. And that's like a very interesting development, because last year when Tatum was off the floor, they won those minutes, right? According, I have it right here. According to Cleaning the Glass, they win the 74th percentile with Tatum off the floor. They were plus 3.5. This season, with Tatum off the floor, they're in the 24th percentile, losing those minutes. Oof. And the differential, they are minus 6.3 with Tatum off the floor. That's like Steph Curry. That's like Jokic type stuff where you are so heliocentric. And it's so weird to see that team with the amount of top end talent that they have be that, disparaged without their top player.
Yeah. Something to monitor. Yeah. I think that'll probably improve over time. I think, we saw some time where Derek White missed a few games. Drew Holiday struggled shooting for a few games. He wasn't particularly good. KP's not the creator for this team because there's so many guys, like you said. Mm-hmm. That stat, I think, is very reliant on the guards that play when Jason Tatum is on the court, whoever's driving the offense. And if Derek White's not there for extended, I think he missed 2 games in the middle. Maybe it was more, I don't remember. Drew Holiday is the poor shooting. I think that's the type of stuff that could weigh that down. But that is something to monitor, you're right.
Yeah, I'm just keeping a look at it. That's one of those things where, and even in spite of that, they have the number 1 net rating in the league.
Yeah.
They're plus 13 on the year. They're just killing people. And they had a very, very impressive win without Porzingis, without Jaylen Brown last night against Philly on the road. Like, they also, Al Horford once again just told Joel Embiid, like, I'm your father. Like, you're just not going to score. And
oh my gosh, bro.
No, they're great. They're great. And I think that it's clear right now that the conference runs through them.
My only concern is they still very much live and die by the 3. Yeah, I feel like they still have that problem last year that kind of hit them in the playoffs where they fell in so many series and had to come back because it's just naturally go cold. Maybe they have the talent now that in the playoffs we'll see that not become as much of an issue because they have more guys that can just make plays happen, which makes a difference. But they're 29th in mid-range volume and the highest 3-point volume, obviously, 20th in volume. Nuts. It's a winning formula in the regular season. It's what Joe Mazzulla wants to do. It can win. It's possible. But there's just a bigger possibility of variance hurting you in the playoffs when that happens, which concerns me a little bit. I can see them being upset by a team or being down in a series because of that, which you never want.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this formula before. It's been started by the Warriors, but the Warriors were a specific type of team. They had the greatest team of all time with where they played. They could get away with that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Then we saw it next phase. We saw it with the Houston Rockets, and they were a great team, but they were not the greatest team of all time, and they died with that. And I think the Celtics roster has more talent than that Houston Rockets team, but not as much talent as that Golden State Warriors team. So I guess we'll just have to see where that nets them out as the season goes on. And overall, I agree with your sentiment.
Let's talk about the 76ers real quick before we finish this up. Because none of us hated the 76ers as a team. We were just like, Harden's gone, so we don't know what to think because he's inevitably going to get traded. And it's like, what do you make of a team that's going to lose a superstar? Well, superstar, but their second star on their team. Mm-hmm. And in turn, Tyrese Maxey just became better than James Harden. It became a legitimate star guard, averaging 28 points and 7 assists on amazing efficiency. He's not only an elite shooter off from the three, off the dribble, and catch and shoot like he has been for 3 years, but he's also used that in the pick and roll and dribble handoff specifically, leveraged that ability and gotten to the rim amazingly with his speed, gotten to the floater range amazingly, finished on all 3 levels, and been an improved passer, while Joel Embiid is still the best scorer in the league. They're just great.
And on top of that, they have more depth onto their team. They got Robert Covington, who, you know what I'm saying, over the last few years hasn't been the greatest, but who knows how it might pan out. He's overall just still a good body to have. Nick Batum, he's a solid role player, regardless of rap lyrics want to say about him. And then Kelly Oubre, before he got hit by a car, he has been
couldn't help
for
but
them
laugh.
too. I'm sorry, no. Listen,
It's
I'll
crazy. It's crazy.
Bro.
It's insane. Yeah, he's not laughing because it's funny. He's laughing because it's like a ridiculous thing to say. Like the
Yeah.
fact that I have to say Kelly Oubre got hit by a car is a Mad Lib.
He didn't roll his ankle. He didn't have a bad, like, nasty injury on the court. Nah, bro. He got hit by a car. TMZ literally leaked footage. Isaac said this in the group chat, and that's why I'm laughing, because it's like, how the hell do they know this shit?
Yeah,
they must hit that man with that car, because how do you get footed that fast and move? So it's whatever. But
shout out him, though. He's gonna be back in November probably.
Yeah.
Great recovery for someone who broke their ribs after getting hit by a car. Like fucking Iron Man and be back by the end of November.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. So having Kelly Oubre, Nick Batum, Robert Covington, and then they still have DeAnthony Melton, who's a great defender too. They just have a lot of meshing going on. And we're not talking about any potential moves that they may want to make as the season goes on, because they also have that versatility and flexibility. But that's enough for me when it comes to giving up to the 76ers. Because
You know what else we got to say on top of all that?
What?
I failed to account. This is a running theme of me this year.
Mhm.
I failed to account for coaching differences. I failed to give the Rockets the bump that I should have gave them because Ime Udoka is really good. We mentioned it. We said they finally got a coach. They're going to be better. I didn't account for that in my predictions. I don't know why. The Bucks, they had a system in place, and with our preseason predictions, I said they'd be a top 2 team in the league because I don't know why I kind of thought the system would stay in place. Adrian Griffin's a rookie head coach with different values, wants to instill different forms of playing because they thought that old system doesn't work in the playoffs. That made them fall off in the beginning of the season because they have to get used to it. I didn't account for that. I did not account for the fact they replaced one of the worst X's and O's coaches in the league in Doc Rivers with Nick Nurse, who's an X's and O's madman, who's incredible at his job. Before last year, when the Raptors decided to hate him and the players just had a falling out, before that year, we all viewed Nick Nurse as one of the smartest coaches in the league. And for some reason, we didn't think that if you give Joel Embiid the smartest coach in the league, that he would get better. But goddamn it, he has. Joel Embiid looks like one of the best defenders in the league. He's scoring as well as he ever has. He's being a better playmaker than he ever has. And then Tyrese Maxey comes in on top of that and is also playmaking for others. This looks like a smart team that knows how to deploy their players way better than they did under Doc Rivers.
All facts. All facts.
You're-
This is a great team. Vibes are better. And like you said, Tyrese Maxey just like, you know what? I will be the star guard that Joel Embiid has always been asking for. I'll do it. It's my job now.
This
You
is
said
nuts.
you wanted him to trade for Dame Lillard to be next to him? I am Dame Lillard.
I got it.
Yeah, this is nuts.
Yeah.
Tyrese Maxey,
Shout out to
outside
them.
of
Yep. They're great,
Tyrese
man.
Maxey, outside of maybe one player, is the best teammate that Joel Embiid has ever had, which is nuts to think about. But
Yeah.
yeah, man.
You know, I was like, it's so funny because I am all in on the 76ers and the Timberwolves. I think they're legitimately really good. And coming to the season, I didn't particularly like either of them.
Hated them. Yeah.
Like
No,
Stuff
and like,
changes.
even the Mavs too. Like I wasn't that high on them. I think I kind of let Donovan gaslight me a little bit into not being high on them. He convinced me, but like I didn't love the idea of them. But now I'm like, they're good as fuck. Luka's shooting 40% from 3. He looks like he's making another leap. Kyrie is playing off of him perfectly. We're seeing the exact way Kyrie should be utilized. They have shooters around him. This is optimized Luka ball. It's working. Like all these teams I didn't like, I love now.
Now, let's come back to this a little bit. Your reasons for not liking them are logical as fuck, and you made 110% sense. You know what I'm saying? So things can change when we do this.
I'm not dumb.
rankings
I was just wrong.
episode a month ago. You were 100% wrong. Like, you're just 10 games into it. Maybe the same
Yeah,
things
yeah,
can
yeah.
be said
So
like
far,
50
so
games
far.
later. You know what I'm saying? So
I can't wait
But-
for the next 10 games. It's going to be very interesting.
Facts.
next power rankings are going to be your players.
We're just getting
What
to
if
a
Tyrese
180.
What if Tyrese Maxey just falls off after just 20 points per game? We're just like, fuck.
That's why we got to reset order, man. That's why you got to reset.
Cat starts playing like day one Cat again. We're like, oh my god, the team will suck. We were giving all this praise. We were hopping on all this dick, and now we're fucking wrong.
This man has yet to get Rudy Gobert.
I think I'm obligated to give them a lot of praise. I gave them a lot of hate. I gave them a lot of hate. More hate than I've ever given anybody. I'm not a hater, but I gave them a lot of hate. So I feel like I gotta go the other way.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time. Crayon eaters, you have been summoned, and it is time to rejoice. We are out of the hood, man. This is TikTok time with mic stands. You might witness a generational segment right now, yo. Let's get
It's
into
so
it.
funny because we always could have had mic stands.
I said no. It's my fault. Give it to me. It's all my fault, man. It's all my fault.
I didn't want mic stands. I like holding it, but do you want to tell them why we had to get it? Do you want to tell them?
Let's tell him.
Mo could not stop moving that bitch, so there was a bunch of noise, and he could not stop breathing into that bitch, and y'all could hear, so there was a lot of noise.
Bro,
so we had to get him.
This has been an issue
we made it.
since maybe like 3 months into the podcast. You said, nah, maybe we should get a mic stand. I was like, yeah, I can go ahead and get one. I'm like, no, I like holding this shit in my hand. I don't want no damn mic stand.
He was trying to stand on business, and it just didn't work out.
And I could not stand on it, but it's okay.
Then I realized last week that he breathes like Darth Vader into the mic, and I was like, nah, you
You trying to tell me I was breathing like Zion Williamson? Let's relax.
Yeah.
I take offense.
You were smacking your lips? Yeah, man. We're going to start TikTok time. As always, we're going to start with the draft. And today, that draft is going to be a player draft instead of lineups. And what we're going to do is we're going to build the perfect white NBA player. So the categories we're going to do is body, shooting, finishing, defense, and passing. Draft order, Mo, Donovan, me. Simple.
Nice.
Mo, what is your first pick?
Okay, cool.
Did you almost say Donovan first?
I don't know.
I generally don't
he
know.
did.
But if it was, you know what card I'm.
That's all I'm saying. It's going on the list. That's a strike. That's a strike.
I don't know.
That's hilarious. All right,
where are we going?
So for passing, give me. For passing, go ahead and give me Nikola Jokic.
Okay, that's a good pick.
Okay. I don't want to do this because I'm just going to double up. It's all right, though. It's fine. For passing, give me Luka Doncic.
Ooh, okay. I'm glad you did that because there's a bunch of good passers, so I don't need that. For shooting, give me Larry Bird shooting.
Okay.
Nice.
And then defense, give me Alex Caruso.
Okay.
You got
Lockdown
the
defender.
steal of the draft already.
Let's go. The
Okay.
bald eagle.
For body, I'm trying to figure this out right now. For body, you know what? Give me which way do I want to go? Give me Kristaps Porzingis.
Oh, you're gonna be a big guy. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you big. Okay, cool. All right. So for the real defense, give me defensive player of the year, Marc Gasol.
Okay, you're gonna be big as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this is snake, right? So I double up.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Cool. And then for shooting, give me Steve Nash. My white boy is lethal.
Okay. All right. For shooting, give me the best shooting big man of all time. Give me Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay.
Okay. For finishing, give me Rick Barry.
Damn.
Okay, like that.
Damn. Okay. What a
Yep.
throwback. That's fair.
Throwing it back.
Okay.
And then for body, give me the most underrated athlete. Oh, wait, no. It's not underrated anymore. For body, give me the high flyer, Max McClung.
Oh,
Straight
okay,
hops.
that's all right.
Okay.
Straight hops.
He's small.
Okay.
He's small, but okay.
I see. I see what we're doing here. I see. What
I got
we're
a
doing.
guard, and I'm jumping out the gym. I'm locking down, and I'm shooting like Bird.
All right. Okay. All right. For my defense, give me Andre Kirilenko, AK-47.
Good pick.
That's a great pick. That's a steal.
Versatile pick.
Yeah, that's a steal. All right, cool. So for my body, nothing too crazy, but what do you expect? He's white. Give me Gordon Hayward.
Okay.
Yeah,
Got
solid.
nice fundamental athleticism.
Yeah, very solid.
Good 35-inch
Can't go wrong with that. Facts. And then for finishing, let me go ahead and get the other Gasol brother. Give me Powell. I always find a way to pick Powell. Every time he's on the board, I'm gonna take him.
You realize you pick rim protector, defense, and finishing, but you're 6'7"?
Yes,
This guy's terrible.
he's
This guy's
fantastic.
terrible.
You can't name an
Who are you
archetype
building?
in NBA
Are you
history
building
like
white
him.
PJ Tucker?
White PJ Tucker?
Yep.
Hell no. What do you mean? Does Jokic passing not exist?
It's just a weird player with that height.
We need to make this build in 2K. I want to see what this is going on like.
I don't know what it looks like.
Who does this look like? Gordon Hayward body? Is this?
It's
Doesn't make
somebody
sense.
crazy. It's somebody crazy. Anyways, for my finishing, I have the shooting of Dirk, right? I have the shooting of Dirk. I have AK-47's defense. I want to be able to score in the low post. Give me Kevin McHale's finishing.
Okay, that's good.
Damn.
To finish it off, for passing, give me Mr. White Chocolate himself, Jason Williams.
Wow. Okay.
I got the ultimate white boy.
That's flair.
Of all
like
everybody
that.
here, I have by far the whitest player.
You do win that. You do have the
No,
white.
you don't, because
that.
you got Mac
You got that.
McClung. You're defying all science right there, bro. You got Mac McClung. That don't make no
You
sense.
also have American whites. That's why, right? You got homegrown whites on your team.
Yeah.
You know-
Corn-fed white boys.
Exactly.
Oh, you're right.
Find these guys in the Big Ten, in the Midwest.
Homebred.
Bro.
You're right.
Between White Chocolate and Larry Bird, I might have the most iconic whites. They're just so white. It's amazing.
You understood
That's
the
great.
assignment. You got it. I cheated.
I played to the crowd.
Yeah.
So for the
Oh,
audio
man.
listeners, my player is the body of Mac McClung, the shooting of Larry Bird, the finishing of Rick Barry, the defense of Alex Caruso, and the passing of White Chocolate.
We love
All right,
that.
for my body, I have Kristaps Porzingis' body, Dirk Nowitzki shooting, Kevin McHale finishing, Andre Kirilenko defense, and Luka Doncic passing.
Nice.
Solid.
I like that.
So for my body, got Gordon Hayward body, shooting Steve Nash, finishing Pau Gasol, defense Mark Gasol, and passing Jokic. Very odd player.
Nice.
I feel like he's just discombobulated.
I think you forgot you were building a big when you picked Gordon Hayward's body.
Yeah. This is a nice big, though. He's a great big.
Oh, I forgot. You picked Gordon Hayward's body, notoriously fragile body.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
you lose
he
it.
asked Kristaps Porzingis. Which one is more fragile at this point?
Facts. Y'all picked some fucking Q-tips.
You picked a guy who barely plays in the NBA. He's
Facts.
He's an you picked
He's
an
like
Instagram
6'1".
NBA player.
I picked a ball as life hooper.
Exactly.
Yeah, no.
That's great. All right, man. Next video we're going to do a tier list. This time, we're staying topical. I mentioned earlier in the episode that Draymond Green pulled a WWE move on Rudy Gobert, came straight for the neck. We're going to talk about it later. Right now, we're going to do a tier list of Draymond Green's most controversial moments.
This guy's a menace. The fact that we can
It's
do
great.
this with all of these moments is crazy.
This shit is insane, bro.
Yep. You know what it is. Let's put Draymond Green's most controversial moments into a tier list.
Oh, I can't wait.
The man's
to do this.
insane.
All right. So first up, when Draymond Green put his whole arm into LeBron's groin in the NBA Finals.
The origin of the dick punch. I think this had the most consequences.
Yes. But it's not like, listen, in terms of controversial, this is S tier because a whole bunch of people were like arguing about it. But the actual like act of it is just like, bro, stop being Dylan Brooks for 2 seconds. You know, like stop being Dylan Brooks before Dylan Brooks. I'll put it at an A just because it's not as over the top as all the other ones.
Yeah, I'll go A. This is relatively tame. A dick punch is normal for Draymond Green. That's like run of the mill, like, oh, Draymond being Draymond.
Yeah, this is very
He is
normal.
who he is.
This is very normal. I think, yeah, A is solid. A is solid. You're right. This is the origins of it. This is the origin story of his era. All right.
Love it.
Cool. We let
What's
see
next?
it. Next up, we got the time when Draymond Green tried to kick James Harden's face off.
I forgot about this one.
What is this one? I need to. I forgot.
James Harden was shooting a 3, and Draymond jumped and like kicked him in the face.
I don't know how your body just decides to do that.
This is just silly. Like, I don't even know where to rank this.
Can we just put it in like B? For somebody who's in the NBA, Draymond has the least body control I've ever seen. His limbs just go everywhere.
Yeah, that's a good B.
Yeah, okay. B is solid.
This guy's crazy.
Let's do it. All right. Next up, the time when Draymond Green stomped out Sabonis' chest.
Immediately.
That was a couple months ago.
Insane. He jumped off his chest like a motherfucking trampoline. That was crazy. He's like, boing.
You know, I didn't realize until I saw it a couple months ago or last night, Isaac, he literally jumped up. You're right. It was a trampoline experience. Like, we have to do some scientific studies on Sabonis' chest after that. Like, what is your chest made out of?
Vibranium. It's crazy. And Nick, the fact that Draymond stomped on a chest plus the memeability of Domantas Sabonis is dope. Like, it's an immediately S tier moment.
Oh man, my gosh. We love to see it. Next up,
no debate.
Next up, the time when Draymond tackled the Houston Rockets KPJ at the time.
This is S tier. This is my favorite Draymond moment of all time. Because all he does is he's just running around like a madman, running from doing suicides from one end to the court to the other with no intention of actually playing basketball. He just wants to tackle somebody.
This dude literally just saved the ball, made an incredible play from going out of bounds, but sadly, and went to the other team, sprinted as fast as humanly possible to go ahead and just run. No plans, no intentions, just run. And then he tackled somebody, bro.
This is S tier.
He was watching too much Friday Night Lights, reminding him of his MSU days in the pads. He had to reminisce.
This man played spring ball for Michigan State. Got lit up.
Got chest contusion, said no more.
He can never be Rob Gronkowski.
He wants to be, though. He'll try harder.
There's some more in there where he was. But next up, we got the time when he kicked Steven Adams in the balls.
Again, serial dick puncher. He loves this shit. He's never seen a sack he doesn't want to punch. A tier.
Why is it not S tier?
This should
be
S
tier. Go ahead.
He did this shit twice. This should be
the sheer force and like the idea that he's like, oh, I'm just trying to jump with one leg coming up into the air, just straight like ballerina line dancing, just bow, just leg kicking. Nah, man.
I've never seen somebody flop into a dick punch. You see his arms, he flows them up. He's like, oh, like he wants contact. Like, it's crazy.
He's so talented.
He wants a shooting foul.
This is a genuine talent of his.
He does this
he finds
all the fucking
sack
time, bro. He's generational.
He's a heat seeker to the sack.
This man has a radar.
He's a sack magnet? Oh my gosh. God, bro, this shit is ridiculous. Again, put that man in the lab.
Sack searcher supreme.
Sack hunter. This is gross, man. Okay. All right. Next up, the time when Draymond Green tackled Marcus Smart.
Why are there so many of these? Why are there so many moments?
He's an NBA
Stop
player.
tackling people. That's a good B. It's a solid run-of-the-mill Draymond moment.
Okay. Yeah, that's solid. What about the time when he knocked Jordan Poole the fuck out?
S tier. This punch crippled the dynasty. As somebody who routinely roots against the Warriors, this is the best moment that ever happened to me. S tier.
Listen, there's been some reporting in terms of like what was said. I need the exact words that made Draymond Green go blind and see red to just knock Jordan Poole out. I need to know exactly what he said.
There's a lot of players who get a bad rap in the media, but you talk to other teammates and they're like, no, he's actually the best teammate ever. A beautiful force in the locker room. Nobody has said that about Draymond Green since this moment.
He's been unhinged.
Nobody should ever,
moment, bro.
This is when he jumped the shark and just went full Draymond. He bought too much into his stock and was too much of himself, and he's never recovered since.
#sag nasty.
Oh man. What about when he put Rudy Gobert in a chokehold?
The newest member of the S tier. He saw red and saw an opportunity to strangle this Frenchman who's been stealing his DPOIs for all this year. Wasted no time.
This is American imperialism at its finest. He made sure. He said the French will not take over I'm doing this for the country.
There was so much intention. He went there so fast, it had to have been like a hired hit. Like somebody had to put a fucking red dot on Rudy Gobert's forehead.
I don't think Draymond Green understands the irreparable damage that he done to Rudy Gobert's career. He is now 110% guaranteed going to be a Babytron verse. Swear to God. He's going to be in a Babytron song, bro. It's over for him. It's over. And then you got Cat in the background too. Cat trying to decide if he wants to step in, but he remembers. He got put in the headlock like twice in the last 4 years. He don't want no parts of that.
Cat was for sure like, am I going to do it? it's over.
He did that for 13 seconds. Nobody helped out Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Tag me in.
And Rudy Gobert was like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck? Hands straight up like this. He was just in shock. Like this, bro.
Tag me in.
As soon as it was over, he's like, you're lucky. You're lucky I didn't get tagged in. I would have been there.
Oh, man. Yo, I love this shit. All right, what about the time when Draymond Green karate chopped Austin Rivers' neck mid three-pointer?
A karate chop to the neck is crazy.
There's so many.
He has a whole 9.
I genuinely don't remember all of them.
No, an attack to the neck has lethal intent, and he's done it twice now.
Put it in
the neck.
It's
okay. Let's relax here.
Last one when he tried to take Kawhi Leonard out midair.
Oh, that's just dirty.
Yeah,
Kawhi was pissed off of this. He didn't say none. He walked up to Draymond and said a few words too. So
that is legitimately just like a bad basketball play. And
F tier.
He's lucky Kawhi is just like a robot who doesn't react to anything. If it was anybody else, like at least they would have gone like forehead to forehead and been like, "Don't do this again."
Kawhi broke out his character for a second. Kawhi broke out his character for a second and actually walked up to him and was like, "This, don't do that." Don't do that. And since then, he had to correct ever since he had to guard Kawhi.
Yeah.
Or whenever
Put that one in F, Nikhil.
Yeah, put it in F. Just dirty. You could have ended this man's career. What the hell, man? That's serious.
What a guy.
What's crazy is there's more moments. Outside of this, there's more moments.
This is
we could have kept going.
Yeah, man. I didn't even mention the time when he put his entire finger into LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, and James Harden's eye. Gave him all red eyes, bro.
3 separate occasions.
3 MVPs. There's something this man don't like, bro.
That's crazy.
It's crazy as hell.
Giving all of them pink eye and styes.
He's a maniac.
Oh, man.
Someone needs to fucking devote a college course to setting his brain. Inside the mind of Draymond.
Yo, this tier list could have been 20 minutes, but we're trying to spare y'all.
That's hilarious, man.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on to the next thing. Next thing I want to do, change the vibe a little bit. I want to talk about James Harden. We just spent a lot of time talking about how the Clippers have been torpedoed by his existence. He's been a negative presence in the lives of many Clippers fans so far, through 6 games at least. I want to name some NBA players, and I want to know if you guys would take them or James Harden to build your team around. Not build your team around, but just who would you rather have on your team, or who's better in this current moment?
It's gonna take. Listen, we're gonna see what the gauntlet holds. I might be taking everybody else. It's gonna take a lot for me to take James Harden right now.
So it's real simple. Who's better, James Harden or this player? First up, Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese in my sleep. Tyrese in my sleep. Oh my goodness.
Sleep.
Yeah,
no
it's ego.
The
shooting is insane. Younger. He's gonna be, bro. Give me. Shut up, bitch. What are you talking about? Sorry.
Red's cursing out Siri.
Yeah, why are you yapping? Damn. But yeah, Tyrese.
Yeah, man. It's the passing.
Damn.
Why are you so
got me on my bag.
He was so quick.
Why are you so aggressive?
Man. It's just passing of the guard, new generation, running past the old motherfuckers. Give me Tyrese.
Yeah, bro.
Easy.
Tyrese, easy.
Next up, Mikal Bridges.
I'm taking Mikal Bridges. I'm taking Mikal. This is a guy who plays defense, fits seamlessly into a lot of teams. Also, very good vibes with James Harden. Is the opposite of all those other bad vibes, bad system. I'm taking Mikal Bridges.
He's gonna take all the words he said that are good and do the opposite. That's James Harden.
Facts. He's gonna give me the same 20. He's gonna give me great defense too, and that's all you need.
Damn.
Are you taking James? Are you taking James Isaac?
I'm taking Mikal.
Listen, James Harden can't be the best player on your team. Maybe can't be the second best player. If I had to pick a third best player, give me Mikal. He fits so much better in most teams.
Easy.
Next up, Desmond Bane.
All right, okay.
The beard or the T-Rex?
Give me the T-Rex with the strap on.
Let's go.
The T-Rex is like that.
Desmond Bane is nice.
I'm taking the T-Rex as well.
It sounded like you didn't want to say that.
Let's go, Geo dude.
No, just like it's still crazy. Like just the name value of like James Harden versus Desmond Bane, and you're like, nah, like it's pretty easy. Like he's Desmond Bane.
Facts.
That's great. Next up, Jalen Brunson.
Oh man, this couldn't get any easier. That's a disgusting celebration, but yeah, go ahead and give me Jalen Brunson. Yeah,
you know what I'm rocking.
Scoring is peak. It's sensational. No ego again.
Small mix chain.
Ew.
Now I'm taking Jalen Brunson. It's not even a question. This is so easy. He's so much better. This is my guy.
So much better? Okay.
I think this
might be one. World's better? I forgot you're a Knicks fan. Let's continue. LaMelo Ball.
This is a little bit closer, but still, give me LaMelo. He's cooler. He got a Puma deal.
That's what I'm saying. I want my basketball team to have fun whenever they're out on the court. LaMelo's going to make sure that happens. Give me LaMelo.
Listen, you might win less games if you pick LaMelo over James Harden, but it'll be a lot flashier. It'll be a lot cooler. You'll have a lot more fun.
Facts. Who's going to give me cooler Instagram photos to post? It's going to be LaMelo 10 out of 10. Who's going to give me more likes? LaMelo.
Yeah, this is the one where James Harden's probably better, but I'm not going to be the one to pick Harden.
LaMelo's been sniping over the last 5 games, though. Let's not sleep.
We'll see.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of triple doubles and stuff, but he also has Fred VanVleet efficiency, so this one's probably
blind.
Harden. Blind. All right, man. Let's move on. The next thing we're going to do, I'm gonna show you guys some NBA lineups, and you're gonna guess which team it is based on their colleges. We've done this before. You know how it works. You're gonna see 5 colleges on a court, and generally where each position stands. You're gonna guess which team it is.
Okay,
let's do it.
It's real simple.
Very simple.
Yeah, and to mix it up a little bit, to make it not easy, I added some question marks over teams, so you only have 4.
Cool.
So, which NBA team is this?
Okay, so
I already know, Mo. You don't have to say anything because I have this one already. There's 2 Dukes, and there's 2 Duke players, and the point guard is some low-level, mid-tier school, mid-major school. This is the New Orleans Pelicans.
Hard. Let's do it.
Correct.
That's New Orleans.
Lehigh's finest, CJ McCollum at the point. This is the New Orleans Pelicans.
I watch March Madness.
Lehigh? The hell is that?
So the school CJ went to, apparently. Never heard of outside of him.
What state is that?
Don't ask me. I'm not here. I don't know.
I only watch college basketball during March.
Damn.
I don't even do that.
That's hilarious.
All right, next up. Who is this team?
Okay. So we got a Duke player and a Kentucky player and a Florida Gator.
I got this, Mo.
Damn.
Mo.
You want one.
Again?
Take this segment off. I think I'm going money. This is the Phoenix Suns.
Incorrect.
What? You're lying.
I am. This is the Phoenix Suns. You got me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're right. Wow. Who went to?
I knew I shouldn't have included KD because the Texas team will give it away because you went to Texas.
Who went to Duke?
Who went to Duke? Grayson Allen.
Yeah.
Oh, he's starting. I forget. Damn.
Yep. Got Bradley Beal at point guard.
You know what it is. You know the vibes.
Yeah. All right. Next team. Who is this team?
Got Dayton, Arizona. Oh, I know
my boy, Mo. Take
Go
this
ahead.
one off.
No way.
Take
You know this
take one
fast.
off.
No way.
Take this one off. This is the Indiana Pacers.
Pacers. There we go.
Oh my God! You got all three within 3 seconds. What
You
the fuck?
you forgot. Obi Toppin was a New York Knicks draft pick. I know
Oh my
he went to
Yeah, he
college.
was dating. Yeah, and I knew Bruce Brown was over there too.
Come on.
And
man.
also, yeah.
I gave in too many biases to Donovan. Damn it. Clean sweep. All right, that's the end of that segment.
That's
Next
all
thing we're
three?
gonna do. Yep. You
Oh, yeah,
fucking
I'm
flew through it immediately, so it's like
I'm
the
here.
world's shortest TikTok.
I'm here.
Next thing we're gonna do a segment that we did a little while ago, where we're gonna look at some NBA players and talk about what job they would do if they weren't in the NBA.
All right.
Sweet. Got to try our best not
So-
to be offensive.
not we. You.
Mo,
That's a
don't
you
be a
issue.
racist challenge. So, which NBA job would these players do if they weren't in the league? First off, Zion Williamson.
Go ahead and say
Zombie
something.
walking around with the hitch. He'd be limping everywhere. Yeah. So to me, he'd be working. I was gonna say,
Anakin put it in animation.
yo, that is crazy. We are right here.
That's fire.
Yo.
That's amazing. This is his best work. That's
He
Nikhil's
is a
best work.
hard-working man with some gloves, and he's doing some type of honest work at some facility. And this looks
Working
like
his
it's
hands.
it right now.
Nah. Zion, listen, Zion, we all know he fits the build for every gym teacher in America. That is him.
You sure you won't be a lunch lady?
Mm.
Listen, he can't resist, so maybe.
That's too far.
I know.
Lunch lady is
Nah,
crazy.
You locked it up. I had to take it.
Man.
Yeah, I can see Zion as a gym teacher. I think he just looks like he would like bark at some kids to run their suicides. Like I can imagine it.
Not even. Just like, hey, calm down.
No, he'd be a
That's it.
D-line coach for a football team.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like a football coach for sure, dog.
Yeah, that's a defensive coordinator build.
Yeah,
He just
exactly.
All right, next up, Robin Lopez.
Now he's in the
working
NBA
at-
still, but he's not a player. He's probably a mascot, to be honest.
How ironic.
He's not that. This man is working at a juice bar. That's where
I
he's
was
at.
gonna say he's a yoga instructor.
Yeah.
This man's about fitness.
Who is this?
It's a guitar.
Yo, it's accurate as hell too.
Robin Lopez is somewhere living off the land, practicing fitness, nutrition, living his best life, talking about chi or something. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely doing breath work in the mountains. That's his
breath
vibe.
work in the mountains. I just imagine him laying in the sand somewhere feeding someone's girl strawberries, bro. That's the vibes he gives me, bro.
What the hell?
Robin Lopez is Mr. Stereo Girl? That's it?
Yeah, bro. With the hair, I just imagine.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious. All right, next one. Rajon Rondo.
Mm.
I bet.
Why is he laughing?
because if I said it, then we would have to cut. So.
What would Rajon Rondo do, bro?
Oh man, Rajon Rondo, man. I ain't gonna lie. He looks like he knows what he's doing. He's a mastermind. He can manipulate anybody and anything. He might be a mechanic, and he might be trying to scam
That's where you
people.
went with that? He's a mastermind, so he's a mechanic?
Yeah, mechanics are masterminds. They're a mastermind at the
What?
craft. That's
All
what
right.
Rondo is.
I see two outcomes for this man.
Please.
Either one, he's a coach of a girls' basketball team, or two, he works for the CIA because he's a fucking genius that can interrogate people.
This man is a
A
lawyer.
principal. Yo.
No, this man works, he's a hacker. He works for the CIA destabilizing governments. He's put that brain to work.
He's a secret spy.
Yeah.
Yo, secret spy
James
is
Bond.
perfect.
He's putting that mind to work one way or another.
Oh man,
I love
That's
it.
good.
he's hard.
All right, next one. We got Anthony Edwards.
He's a hooper.
There's no
No
way
way
around it.
Listen, he was born to play basketball. This is his destiny in every universe.
You can't imagine anything else.
There's abundance.
What about an
just
actor?
An abundance
What about
of
an
buckets,
actor? He's
that's
already
it?
in the movie.
He wasn't good. Like he was good for a hooper because that's what he is. In his soul, he's a basketball player.
Yep. End all be all. We can't imagine anything else. We got an animation of him as a football player. Nice. If he's not a hooper, he's in another league somewhere.
What number is that? What number is that? That's 11 and 15 mixed together.
Are these all AI generated? I just really like.
Oh my god, yeah.
That's hilarious.
Why does AI never understand how to make hands? Look at his hand on the ball.
Ew.
Looks like Spider-Man.
He's a Ninja
Mutant.
Turtle claw. Golly.
All right,
I
next
think he
one.
needs water.
Devin Booker.
Oh man,
Nah,
Devin Booker,
he's a
he's
mechanic.
outside. Nah, he's outside right
Let's go.
He's a mechanic for sure.
Well, I ain't gonna
No,
lie, he
he's
does love
working-
his old schools. That's accurate.
He looks like he works at an Apple store.
No, if you
That's
listen,
accurate.
if Devin Booker was like 10 years younger, he would have been the star of Pimp My Ride. He would have been the host of Pimp My Ride. It would have been him in the
Yeah.
exhibit.
He's a TV personality.
Seeing Devin Booker, I feel like he'd be outside of the streets of New York and he's trying to spread the good word of God to everyone, bro. Talk about how he changed his life from his sinning ways.
That makes it sound like he was in prison. Are you saying Devin Booker would be a reformed felon?
I don't know about a reformed fellow, man. He'd just be admitting his vices.
That's great. All right, next one. Draymond Green.
Oh my goodness, bro. He looks like a correctional officer if I ain't seen one before. Beating people ass on the low, bro. Just beating the fuck out of inmates. That's his back right there.
This man will be a bare knuckle boxer.
Why does he look like D-Wade?
and Kevin Hart?
Yeah,
Oh
right.
God.
This is the greatest episode of all time.
By God, that's Draymond Green's music.
Oh my God, bro.
What else did Draymond Green do?
Draymond Green, man. It involves something physical, man. It involves
Just
some physical
professional
and hurting
menace.
people. Whatever you
We're
think
dancing
it
around the
is.
truth. We're dancing around the truth. He'd either be an AEW or WWE, jumping off the top rope, throwing people's elbows. He's born for the WWE.
He got the skill for that. You ain't lying.
He's got the mindset, I'll tell you that. It's great. Man's a performer at heart in all the violent ways possible.
Oh man, Draymond's
Next
crazy.
one. Jalen Brunson.
He's a teacher. This is a school teacher.
Facts.
He's a school teacher or an insurance agent.
I was going to say, this man would be a governor. This man is a public servant.
Really?
He runs
listen,
for mayor.
You can't see it because he has God, I can't say it. You can't see it because he has the braids. But like if he went to like a fade, nah, he's a governor. He's a congressman.
I
He looks
see
like a student
him.
council president.
I see him helping me take my groceries from the grocery store to the back of my trunk. That's what I see him doing. Looks like a really nice man. I imagine the
Yeah, either
Publix
way,
green
he's
sweater.
helping people.
Yeah, exactly. Very nice guy.
Oh, doctor. That's bro. No, he looks like a dentist. That's what it is. He's a
that's
dentist.
Hard. That's hard. He's helping. We're all on the same wavelength. I love to see it.
Either way, he's making people's lives better. Shout out Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, making the world a better place.
Last up, Richard Jefferson.
Oh my God.
This picture is dirty, man.
What is
Okay.
Richard Jefferson doing in another life?
Ironically, he's a barber.
A barber?
Ironically, he's a barber.
A barber?
Listen,
He's serving the justice that he can never have served
not
himself.
Can you not see Richard Jefferson with the overshirt and the little towel over his head, just giving people the cleanest lineups?
I see this man being a marketing agent, bro. He's trying to sell me on some shit or tell me how to sell some shit that he probably don't know how to sell.
No, I see this man sitting at a desk doing like Good Morning America.
Oh my gosh.
Him next to some
TV
white
anchor.
women that are like talking about the news.
Breaking news. Ugly ass. You're right. Ew, I see it.
It's like him next to Regis and Kelly.
Ew, I see it. I see it.
He's
I can't even
Strahan.
imagine it, bro. With some random ass Caucasian lady too, talking about some American tragedy. America, we're in trouble.
America has a problem.
Gosh.
That's on his part.
That was a hit.
Morning.
Good morning, America.
He's Ron Burgundy.
Oh,
That's
man.
great. That's the last
That
one. Bro, it's so hot in here. Got these lights beaming on me. I'm laughing too hard.
Bro, I got it.
Man,
Hey, this
sweating.
is crazy.
That's great. Next thing we're gonna do, we got a couple more things before we get out of here. But just be quick though. It's a long podcast. Appreciate y'all sticking around. If you're still here, comment Richard Jefferson needs to be on. No, what should they comment? What should they comment? Someone give a good one about Richard Jefferson.
Put that man on Good Morning America. Richard Jefferson needs to be on Good Morning America.
Comment Richard Jefferson needs to be on Good Morning America.
Yeah.
Put him on The
role.
View. That's great. Next thing we're gonna do, real basketball-y thing. Change the pace real quick. We're gonna do a blind ranking. Y'all done this before. You know how it works. 5 players. Y'all gotta blind rank them without knowing who's next.
Okay.
Real simple.
I can get with that.
I'm coughing my ass off today. Jesus.
COVID?
So, blind rank these NBA players without knowing who's next. First off, Kyrie Irving.
Solid.
He's
3.
a quintessential 3.
Yeah.
There we go. You
Dude,
were right.
We're here.
Okay.
Perfect.
Look at you guys in sync. Next up, Tyrese Halliburton.
Is there somebody better? Is there somebody better? Or are we putting him at 2?
He could either be 2 or 4. I feel like 2 is probably a safe place.
We'll put him at 2.
Thank God. If you put Tyrese Halliburton below Kyrie, I would have lost my mind.
Yeah.
Next up, Tyrese Maxey.
Oh no, he is definitely 4. He's 4.
He's 4.
He's 4.
He has to be.
Yeah, he's not better
Can't
than
be one.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
He can't be 1. No way. Not yet.
Okay. Soon. I don't know.
Yeah.
Give me 10 more games. I might get crazy.
Oh no! Listen, we're pushing narratives.
10 more games, he might be AI. That's all I'm going to say.
AI. Oh my God.
Next up, Jaylen Brown.
We're playing ourselves.
5 is, so far this season, 5 is right.
Yeah,
5,
this
that's tough.
listen, it's just the way that the list shakes out.
He has been better
Damn.
so far than these players so
Yeah.
far this season. Whatever way you want to.
That's
fight.
also-
he
that's
ain't
also
better
true.
than Maxey,
That's also true.
Kyrie, or Hadley.
Yep.
Yeah, nah, it's not happening.
Yep.
Damn. Last one, Tyler Hero.
Oh my God, you set us up, Don. Why didn't you see this shit coming?
I didn't.
This
see
is
it.
my
I didn't
worst
see it coming.
nightmare.
This is my bad.
You put the white man on top again. Oh my God.
No, I'm actually distraught. I'm actually distraught.
Shame. Shame.
This goes
Shame
against
on
everything I stand
you.
for.
Damn.
But not for nothing.
Oh,
If
gosh.
you think about it, listen, Isaac already has 1 strike this episode. Listen, he's trying to put the white man on top.
What I got a strike for? What did I do? All right, man. One more video before we get out of here. Trying something new. I'm going to have you guys guess the top 5 NBA players born in Texas.
Okay.
So like
Born
all-time
in
rankings,
Texas.
top 5 players.
Well, I'm cooked, Donovan. You see that hat on your head? You better get this shit right. Carry me.
Listen, I don't know who was born here.
All right, start guessing.
I don't know what's on their birth certificate.
You guys know any players born in Texas?
I know a couple. We'll see what happens.
All right, start guessing. You're guessing the top 5.
Oh, okay. De'Aaron Fox,
De'Aaron
What?
Fox is not in the top 5.
Jimmy Butler.
What?
Jimmy Butler is number 4.
Okay.
Okay.
Donovan, carry me.
Listen. Trae Young.
Trae Young is number 6. He didn't make the top 5.
Damn. Donovan, carry me.
We might flop. We might flop. I'm letting you know that right now. I have no idea who's on this list. Who is born in this state?
You got to take that hat off your head if you don't know, man.
Listen, I went to the school. I don't know. Listen, do you understand how big this state is? Do you understand how big Texas is? It's huge.
Okay.
I don't even know who's coming out of Houston.
Damn.
Is this not going to work out? Or y'all does not know?
No, it's not going to work out.
All right, we're
Yeah,
going to scrap
no.
it. Never mind, guys. It is not going to work out.
Can
Hell
you
no.
tell us the top
Giants
five?
are
Can you tell us the
today.
top 5?
Yeah.
It was Chris Bosh at 1,
Wouldn't have known that.
Okay.
Bill Sharman at 2.
Who the fuck is that?
You're setting this up. You're setting this up.
Sounds
Grant
like
Hill
the
at 3.
fucking bro. What?
Grant Hill at 3.
Where's he from?
Texas, apparently.
I would have thought he was
LaMarcus
from
Aldridge at
Connecticut or
5.
some shit.
LaMarcus
makes
Aldridge at
sense.
5.
Yeah, LaMarcus makes. Who the fuck hell is Bill Sharman? It sounds like the actual dude of the Mr. Cleany guy. Mr. Clean.
He
guy.
was on
He
the
looks like
Celtics.
Mr. Clean.
He was on the
That's what he
Celtics
sounds like.
in the 60s.
In the 60s? You gave us... You tried to have us guess one of these?
Give us one of these.
Come on, man.
Set us up for failure.
My bad,
This
it didn't
two videos in a row, 2 TikToks in a row. You set us up.
My bad.
I don't appreciate it.
I thought y'all would have known. I overestimated your random trivia knowledge. But
Come on.
my bad. We're ending the episode on a dud. That's the end. If people are still here, what should they comment?
Ooh.
I thought we were talking about Richie
What should they
Jefferson.
comment?
Another one to make it to the very end.
Ooh, okay.
6 minutes later.
What should they comment?
Okay. What should they comment? They should comment.
This is bad
Damn.
radio.
What the fuck should they comment?
This is bad radio.
This is too dead.
Never mind. Don't comment shit. Episode's over.
Yeah.
We'll see y'all
All right,
later.
Crown Eaters.
We got y'all
Until
next week.
time.
We got y'all next week.
Goodbye.